pre-stream boogie. Hello. Good morning. Or good afternoon or good evening. Depending on what time it is for you where you are. Happy Saturday. Your earbud's very important. Hear what's going on. Let's see here. Let's see. We got these charged. Good job, me. Accomplished something for last night. Hazel, do you know the Twitch drop for WoW? Some transmog. I'm real out of the loop on everything, but I do have drops enabled on my channel. So if anything starts up, we will be automatically earning it for hanging out in our little zone here. This one goes in there right here. Greetings. Good afternoon, Hazel and all. Good afternoon. I hope your weekend is off to a stellar start. Absolutely kicking. Let's see. Let's log into World of Warcraft, shall we? Do I need anything else? I have water. I've got a big stuffy. I've got my fish shirt for fishing day. It's kind of covered in dog hair, but honestly, I don't think you guys can see the dog hair that much. Maybe a little bit. Because I gave Moose like 30 hugs this morning, so. Not for any particular reason, just because he's very huggable. It's on the launcher. The launcher? Never checked the launcher. Oh, they have two whole things. Subscribe to WoW for extra goodies. New Twitch drop on the way. Alright, I'll catch up. I think I'm like, because I covered news for so long and then I stopped covering news, I've gone in the other direction and I like don't know anything anymore. I'm out of the loop on very basic news. Let me see here. I can probably just show, yeah, it's fine. We can probably just show this one. Let's do this and then let's do this. Twitch drop on the way. Spooky Hallows End savings. That was subscribed to a year. Did that. Got my kitty cat and my Gurlock, and I guess there's gonna be another thing later on. What are we thinking this is? Like a Naga or a dragon, or do we think it's like a dragon on a big tire? Like a unicycle situation? It's got a little dragon tail. Drop is a scarab, I think. Hang on a second. Gotta get it back. Wasn't finished reading. Twitch drop. There it is. Scramble to get the sand scarab pet on October 22nd. So this has not started yet. Good to know. Not started yet. Easily mistaken for a common beetle, the sting of a sand scarab will quickly clear up the misconception, should you be unlucky enough to be stung by one. With the release of the 20th anniversary celebration, players can commemorate the occasion with new Twitch drops. Watch any stream October 22nd to November 5th. So next week with the patch on Tuesday, and then goes for a while. 4 hours to get a sand scarab pet. Cool. All right, let's turn this off. Let's get some sound going here. Oh, I should check my auctions. I did some gathering last night. I got caught up on my gathering weeklies and sold a bunch of stuff. Gathering is not so much money as it used to be, but it's still nice to do. It's still relaxing. Also, I was gathering for like half of it before I remembered to put on my perception file, and then I went, oh no, the camouflage nodes, I wasn't seeing them. Hi, Lucy. Do you want to maybe go lay down in the bed? That would be pretty cool. Is October 34th a thing? No. New fur line is amazing. It's the year of a snake, so it's a snake next year. That would make sense. Thanks for all you do. I'm glad to have you here. Oh, scarab pet will be kind of cool. Transmog appearances, toys. Gorgeous here right now for the next few days, to the point where it's like a transcendent experience. Hey, that moonkin is not for you, buddy. Hey, leave it. No, not yours. I'm gonna have to find a different place to keep that. He knows he's not supposed to do certain things, but he kind of has metagamed that, where he's like, well, if I want attention, the fastest way to get attention is to get in trouble, to do something I'm not supposed to. Hey, leave it. Leave it. Do something I'm not supposed to do. You, key in it. Get out of there. Because then he knows that I will scold him. Hey, excuse you. Leave the moonkin alone. It did nothing wrong. Teldrassil was bad enough. Hi. Oh, goodness. And yeah, then I will be once again paying attention to Moose instead of whatever it is that I'm doing on the screen. Oh, did I pick up all my gold? Oh, I have 35k. I should maybe... Am I moving that over? I think I am. Inksy can have the gold. She's the dictator of the Hazel Alts. Hey, what you doing? Can you cut it out? The first thing he does when we leave home is to take the gardening gloves out of the bin, which he knows he's not supposed to do, and then to spread them across the floor. And I'm pretty sure he does it to try to summon us back home. He's like, listen, I get in trouble when I touch the gloves. So if I take the gloves, as soon as they've gone, I can cast a spell to summon them back here to scold me. And, I mean, whenever we do get home, we usually go, what's this? Why is this moved? But today is Saturday. Are you leaving? Are you gonna go pout and leave? That's fine. That's okay. Here, I'll turn off your camera. Use it later. Today is Saturday, which makes it Hallowfall Fishing Derby Day. Coffee hit real good today. I'm still wearing my dive suit. I'm gonna fish in it today. And I want to clean out the vendor. I don't know if I can actually do that with 1 days of fishing, but I'm gonna do my best. I am not buying the fish mace because it's a clone of one that I already have. It looks exactly... What are you doing back there? Exactly like the stink rod smasher. But the rest of the items, there's like a pitchfork, there's some backpacks and stuff. I'm gonna see how many derby marks I can cram in 1 day. I'm sitting on 41 of them as it is, and I'm gonna see how many we can scrape together. So I'm gonna just head out there and start fishing, because that is the key. Oh, these are my things. Oh, I made some true sight files to sell, and I sold them. Hey, that is a box with a tripod in it, you loon. Buddy. I don't know why he's so bored this morning. Normally just snoozes. I guess it takes him a while to settle down. And yeah, Moonkin's for sure in danger. Cat also is bad for attention. Do you have a ring cam? No, nothing like that. Moose in chaos mode today. We were doing so good this morning. Oh, I had to leave. I left to go vote, and I did. I got my sticker. Look. Well, it won't focus, but I voted. I put it on. I was like, what do I do with this? And then I'm like, I'm going to stick it on my to-do list, because that was an item on my to-do list that is done. It was rainy, but I put on my raincoat, and it actually did not take too long. I've never, just through like a weird conflation of circumstances and also some apathy in my early 20s, never voted in my life, which is shocking because I'm 32 now, but I did it today, and it was fine. Because I'd never done it before, I was like, man, this is going to be chaos. And I'm sure in different places maybe it is, but here it was run very well. Yeah, she doesn't want it. She's not trying to hang out. She's trying to get mom time. I would leave her alone, bud. She looks like she means business. They got into trouble this morning because Kitty was already kind of cranky at him because I think he thwapped her with his tail a few times by accident. And then she was trying to jump up on the couch, and she jumps next to him, and he's doing nothing. And then she's like, how dare you be here? And then she scrambles over his butt to like try to get up on the back of the couch. And I guess maybe, I don't know if she had claws or what, but he was like, I'm like, sorry, buddy. She didn't mean it. I don't think. She didn't mean it much. She's tiny and old and blind. She can kind of get away with anything. We're going here. No, I have not put multicraft in my tool yet. It's on my eventual to-do list. Early voting, usually very chill. Which state are you in? I am in the province of British Columbia. If you go the night before, it can be really busy, otherwise pretty efficient. Yeah, we had early voting up all week, and I didn't manage to make it to one of the early voting times because I just didn't get around to it. And I was going to do it on like Friday, but then it was too late on Friday, so I did, today was the big voting day, and we just went then. Didn't we all vote for the Shadowland Fremount? Oh, JG Britt, thank you for the 35-month resub. Almost 3 years. Where on earth did that go? Beats me. Couldn't tell you. Oh man, I was reading the Wikipedia article and like the Elections BC article and like how the election actually works, because I realized I was like I was familiar with the parties and their platforms because I'd done a little bit of research on that, but I was a little confused on like the mechanics of it all because it's been a long time since I took my government class at school. And I was looking up like what constituencies are and what MLPs do and how the premier's elected, and I'm like, wait. So the lieutenant governor, which is a crown appointed position, she has like this big castle basically here. I think it's mainly a ceremonial position, but she does have a role in government, and apparently she's the one that appoints the premier. And traditionally it's the leader of whatever party won the majority of MLPs. But I guess if she really wanted to, and she didn't mind causing, like, a riot, she could go rogue and do whatever she wants. I don't really know. Canadian government's weird. Fury Forever, thank you for the 26-month resub. 26 months? Time flies. Good luck fishing today. Hope Kitty is doing well. Thank you very much. Yeah, I voted Caterpillar for the mount. I'm still waiting for my Caterpillar mount. They don't owe it to me, but I'm waiting anyways. I did get the gummy worm battle pet. I sure did. Somebody very kindly sent me a code, which was very nice, because otherwise I probably would not have gone out of my way to do it. Hey! Move. No. He does this during keys, and then I end up taking the Moonkin and then balancing it here with any other plushies I've had to confiscate from him, and then I do keys like this. Oh, man. Alright. So it's going to tell me that I need another 500 Merildar Derby marks to get the remaining things. That's actually not strictly true, because that's counting the trophy fish, which is 250 marks, which is the thing that I've decided that I don't need. Can I get off this flight path now? Thank you. I was a little worried. I should put on my fishing hat, and I'm going to eat my fishing food, because I have 7 of them, and I carry them around in my bags, and sometimes I accidentally eat my fishing food when I'm trying to eat my, like, Mythic Plus food, and then I've just wasted a piece of fishing food. I did not get the tabards, no. I don't collect tabards, I'm not worried about it. Imagine how informed you'd be if after BFA they said, we're replacing Sylvanas with a Westminster Parliament. Taking too much of your attention. Game looks better than mine on stream than mine does in game. Mine have Mac graphics now, Beast PC. Enable different settings, your light looks so good. I'm not sure, but I can show you my settings. These are my graphic settings. So I am playing natively on 3840 by 2160. I have... This is what he does when he's kind of full of beans. Luckily, the beds seem to be able to take it. He hasn't torn one of them yet, and he's really tried. He might settle down. Or he might just do that for a while. I keep my shadows off because I don't really worry about those, but for lighting effects, I believe I have those on. Particles high, liquid high, depth high. Watch out, kitty cat. He's kind of wild right now. Here we go. I have ray trace shadows on? Are you kidding me? I don't mean to have those on. I guess if it's working fine. If my stream's running fine, then I guess I'm using ray trace shadows. I had no idea I had that turned on. That's hilarious. I thought for sure I had that off. ASSAO. Ambient occlusion type. I used to know more about this stuff. Not anymore. I am way out of the loop. I turn computer on, I go, thank you, World of Warcraft, please. Dog likes to dig to China like that when he's very anxious. Yeah, I read that it's just a way for them to kind of offload extra energy, and it means I probably should have exercised it more this morning. But we went for a walk, I promise. Maybe he needs a bigger one. Alright, Moonkin, I'm amazed he hasn't torn off one of these things. I think it's because he knows that he's not meant to be chewing on this, so he just gets it wet. He doesn't actually shred it, because he could shred this in like a heartbeat. But it is rather crunchy. Anyway, I'm gonna see if I can wedge this over here where I can keep an eye on it. And are you done? Let's go start fishing. Your cat looks different. Do you know what people are saying is the best source of flight stones right now? I heard somebody say Radiant Echoes, and that sounds true. You get lots of them for doing that. I have the opposite flightstone problem. I'm perma-capped on flightstones because I get them from everything. Weeklies seem like a great source of them. I get them from rares and treasures. I get them from any delves I do. I get them from raids and dungeons. I don't do very many delves, but just raids and dungeons alone. I am, once again, dangerously close to being capped. Like, I can't spend them fast enough. Echoes are good. But yeah, I know, they're kind of boring. I think that one good way to do it is just to make sure that you've done your 4 weeklies, like Awakening the Machine, the Hallowfall Keystone stuff gave me some, I'm sure. I got some from doing the theater troupe thing. Alright, what are we doing today, fishing-wise? Let's get started. It's 20 minutes in. I gotta get going. We need a nibbling minnow, a hammerfish. Ooh, a hammerfish, that's annoying. Lure fish. Is there such a thing as a hammerfish? Hammerfish lure. There are hammerfish lures. We'll see if they work. I'm gonna buy 10 of them, and then I can resell them if I choose to. But we'll try that because of these things, the hammerfish seems like the most likely. I'm also gonna get myself a dotty back because that makes the lure fish much easier. You still need to find a royal ripple, but Here, we'll get 10 of those and I can send a package along to my other characters. The nibbling minnow should be fine. Hammerfish is rough. Margaret, thank you very much for giving out a gift sub. And Kezo3, thank you for the 61-month resub. That is bananas. Holy moly. Alright, let's turn on fish finding. Very good. How long far do you walk him each day? He gets... So the thing is, sometimes long and far are very different depending on how fast he's going. He's not much of a goer. He's a big stopper. He wants to watch everything. He wants to meet everyone. He wants to sniff everything. He wants to try to eat a variety of things. So depending on what time of day it is and what kind of mood he's in and where we're walking, we might be motoring, but most of the time we are meandering. So our morning walk is probably 30 minutes and it's literally one block. We take a whole half an hour to walk around one block because he has to sniff everything. And we like that. You know, that's good. That's using his energy as well. He's thinking, he's imagining, he's getting caught up on the news. Didn't find a royal ripple for the first 40 minutes this morning. My goodness. Need the slime cat to be a thing. Makes me wish I had a log boy. After one catches a hammerfish is a requirement to say. Nailed it. So if the hammerfish lure, I don't know if it's important for me to use it before a blood pool or if I should just use it in general. It looks like it's got a half-hour duration, so what I probably ought to do is next time I get to any pool, I'm just going to send it, and then I'll see what happens. Some of these fishing lures seem to work very well. It was a couple weeks ago that we were trying to get like the specular rainbow fish, and getting the specular rainbow fish lures was awesome for that. But then last week we got a different kind of lure to try to get, I forget what it was, but there was something we wanted. And the lure was absolutely a scam. It did nothing. It did literally nothing. Okay, speaking of lures, let's go ahead and throw on one Aerothor hammerfish lure. This just says that it increases the chance to catch hammerfish. So we'll see. I don't know if that means that I can get them from places I couldn't normally before. It may be the case that they are still exclusive to blood pools, but you just have a better chance to pull them from a blood pool. It also could be a chance that it's a scam and does nothing. Fishing seems kind of underbaked this expansion. Oh, he's left. Oh, I got 2 imperfect nullstones. I'll take that. What are you doing, bud? What's up, honey bear? Where did you get that fluff? That's weird. Don't eat that. You can use it anywhere. Don't need a pool. For most characters, though, unless your fishing skill is super high, for this character I might be able to get away with open water. For most of them, you're not going to have any luck fishing open water. I had that last week where I got a lure, and then I was trying to open water catch something, and I was just getting trash, even with the lure on, because my character's fishing wasn't high enough, because I was trying to do it on like a bunch of characters. Slow with time for sniffing, a lot more enriching than just walking far. Sometimes walking far is good just because it means he gets to see different things depending on where we go. But anyways, yeah, so 30 minutes in the morning, and then we do an hour later in the day, afternoon or evening, depending on the weather. 40 minutes to an hour, depending on how fast he goes and where we go. But that, and then with that, we would usually play with him a fair amount at home as well and do like chasing and tugging and stuff. If we do more of a big hike or a big adventure, then he doesn't want to play so much at home because he's exhausted, but... Still going long walks if it's pouring or bad weather? Absolutely. He would riot otherwise. Bad weather is what raincoats are for. And we don't really get thunderstorms here. It's very rare to get a thunderstorm, so it would be shocking for there to be weather that's actually dangerous to be out in. Maybe a crazy windstorm, but like, you put on your raincoat, you put on your layers, get your boots on, get out there. I have a reflective vest that I can wear if the visibility is really bad to help me not get hit by cars. And he has like a little light up collar. But... I've lived in the Pacific Northwest all my life. If I didn't walk in the rain, I wouldn't go very far. Florida summer walks are rough, either way too hot or storming. Moose does not have a raincoat. I was kind of considering it, but his coat naturally shakes water off quite well. He does get pretty wet sometimes when we go walking, because we've got like a big rain system over us right now. It's been pouring rain, and it's going to keep doing that for a while. So in the last couple of walks, Moose has gotten soaked, but he shakes, and then like cups of water come off of him. And then he towels off pretty good. Like the oils in his coat seem to do a good job. So I don't think he needs a raincoat, but wouldn't he be so cute in a raincoat? I could get him with little umbrellas on it. Dog needs to be dragged outside when it's raining. The 96 bountiful delves, and I have no mushroom hat. That is cruel. Not so bad in terms of walking needs. I think I walk more than that. Don't have a dog. I used to walk basically that much before I got a dog, which is why I thought it would be so easy for me to get a dog. What I didn't anticipate was how much slower I am with the dog. I kind of thought, oh, okay, I already do all these walks. I'm trekking all over the place. I'm just going to get a dog and bring it with me, and we're going to go at the exact same pace because everybody else that I see that has a dog is just walking. And any dog that I've walked before in my life will basically go as long as you want to at whatever pace that you want to go. And Moose was like, no, I need to stop for everything. So you have to consider, if you're going to take him on a big walk, how long you have and how far you want to go, because he's slow. He can go fast if he's motivated to do so, but he's so distractible. And I do let him check a lot of stuff out as long as it's not harmful for him to do so. So we spend a lot of time checking things out, getting to the bottom of stuff. He may mind the raincoat. UI looks like a square. I no longer use a Tartarus, but I used to use a gamepad like that. I used them for years. I now use a keyboard and then mouse. 3 of these 4 bars that you see right here are all for my mouse. So I've got the 12 button grid on the side of my mouse. It's a G600. May they rest in peace. So this is my mouse buttons, and then the same thing with shift, and then the same thing with alt, which is why some of these are silly things like summoning pets or toys or my pet-sized candle. He wants to take in all the smells. But yeah, sometimes, and this confuses the daylights out of our neighbors because they're like, where is your dog? But sometimes my partner and I will actually go for a walk without the dog because he's already had his walks for the day, and sometimes we just want to go. Sometimes we just want to walk and not stop. So occasionally we will leave Moose at home and take a walk, and everybody's like, where's your dog? How much effort have you put into training him to go faster, if that is what you want? Trust Jeff to find a way to make it my fault. Got an MMO mouse, terrified to swap to it from mostly keyboard binds. I would do it just a little bit at a time. I wouldn't try to do the whole thing at once. I would do the top 3 buttons, just bind those, and then play with that for like a week until you're feeling super comfy with it. Just do it like 1 row at a time. It's not like a super normal for a human hand to be that good at hitting all the different buttons right away. Good evening from the other side of the earth. Good evening to you. My English Mastiff is slow too. I use a grid system. I haven't found any of these things actually. The nibbling minnow, all calm surfacing ripple specifically. I'm in an angler secret torrent, so I'm off base here. I need to keep moving. Nope, that's another angler secret torrent. That's no good. No. Oh no, I'm out of things to say. Oh man. We're looking for a blood pool. Guess what? What's up? One of the few people who haven't even rebound Q&E like most people. I like my movement keys. Everybody's got the thing that works for them. I like mine with Q&E rebound to combat keybinds, and then I use A and D for strafe, and then I completely unbind keyboard turning because I have yet to find a use in my life to keyboard turn. I found a new bakery today and purchased a German loaf. How was it? What makes a German loaf different from a otherwise designated loaf? Blizzard made a TV show. What art style of show would you want? Oh man, probably whatever makes people happy or whatever's affordable for them to produce, because I don't think I would watch it. I don't know what they could do that I would watch. I am such a hard sell with TV. I'm a really hard sell with TV. I don't like most fiction scripted shows. I get bored of them and I turn them off. It's been a long time since I've finished one. I didn't watch Arcane. It's just not really my cup of tea. So I think whatever other people that are into that want would be great so that they can watch it and be happy. Probably better than other loaves. German has famously good bread. You like the D&D movie? That's true. That was good. That was a movie though. I like the Warcraft movie too. Oh, blood in the water, blood in the water. Okay, perfect. I want a hammerfish. I have my hammerfish lure up. Sometimes you have to share. I have my hammerfish lure up. Also, it's just occurred to me that I don't have a bobber right now. There we go. Heady slum shark. Yeah, at least in the last year, the TV that I have enjoyed watching has been largely either documentary or reality, somewhere in that like unscripted about real people kind of world. So that would be hard to do about WoW. You could do it about Blizzard. I don't know what that would be like. Germany's bread is my favorite amongst the countries I've traveled to, but I enjoy darker, heavier loaves. I run almost 5+ people to a blood pool. I'm getting lots of slum sharks. And then I'm glad that I have my fish lure up. Right. I used one. Those are my shadow-rooted grippers. That's my flask. Did something overwrite it? How long did it's supposed to last for 30 minutes? I used one for sure, because I only have 9 when I used to have 10. It wouldn't be like the blood thing that disappears when you... Because I didn't catch one. Otherwise, it would be off my list. I actually haven't caught any of these things yet. Oh, today might be a tough fishing derby to multi-character do. If I'm having this much trouble on my main with all of our fishing skill and everything, I think this one might be gnarly. Funny that documentary and reality should be the same or similar, but are in fact not. There's a lot of gray area as well, depending on how actually unscripted it might be. Like a show like Alone, you can argue it's not really a documentary. It's more, it would be more accurately a reality show, but it's quite different than a reality show like a Too Hot to Handle or like a, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a reality show that's not like a trashy dating one, but they're all trashy dating ones that I've seen. There we go. There's my hammerfish. So I still need my nibbling minnow, and I still need the royal ripple for the lure fish. But, oh, I didn't even use the... What good is this lure? I'm gonna look it up. Are people complaining about this one too? Whalehead. It's very greedy of me, but I'm fishing the rest of this pool because the slum sharks are worth so much gold. Because I already made it here. Hammerfish lure. Throw in a red pool, catch a hammerfish, the buff disappears. I mean, at least you caught a hammerfish. My buff disappeared. I didn't even get one. Alright. The lure is called the Arathor Hammerfish lure. They thankfully did not get too creative with the naming of the different fish lures. I've seen some Love is Blind. I am no longer able to watch it. I can't deal. I watched the first season of the original one back when it first came out. And I thought that was cool. Oh, I want to fish this, but I don't really... I should leave it. I need a royal ripple, and I need surfacing ripples. I should leave that for somebody that needs it. This might be one of the worst derbies. Yeah. But, once I started watching the second season, I just started fast forwarding, and I realized I can't. can't handle it. I get bored. The WoW show will be called Too Hot to Transmog. Used to love American Pickers on history. Moose playing Kira's Shadow. He's just following her around. Oh, our surfacing ripple. We need that. I need this for the nibbling minnow. I don't think they have lures for them, but let me check. Always worth a little search. Nope, just a fish. No lure for it. So let's just go ahead and do our best here. RuPaul's Mod Grace. Last week for Derby, only got 2 of 3 in my main, but my alt automatically got the 2. Had to fish for the 3rd. Alts after that, 1 cast to complete. They cannot seem to fix this. Also, I've had that shield many times. Not that rare. I wonder if my hunter's going to be broken. Oh no, my hunter might have done it properly last week. I don't remember. Most of my alts seem to work okay. The ones that I've already kind of set up for this. There's the nibbling minnow. So I just need to find a royal ripple for the lure fish, and then I'll be good to go on this character. Glimmer pool. I could get a Dornish pike from a surfacing ripple. That's probably not too hard to do. Oh, you know what I could have done is I could have used a true sight file for extra perception. a sea raven. But we're doing okay. The key is going to be to do as many characters as possible. Because even when they do take a long time to finish it, they're usually getting extra derby marks along the way for like working through the list of fish to get. So I was getting kind of like 25 marks per alt. I think the lure fish will be fine. I just need to find a royal ripple. That's the trick. There's no sense in me fishing anything except for a royal ripple. They can spawn here, or I could go do a lap of Ajkahet. We just got to get kind of lucky. This zone probably has a higher turnover rate. There's probably a better respawn on fishing pools because people will be fishing them out looking for this stuff. Theoretically. I don't know. Maybe. Possibly. Could be. Oh, no. Angler Secret Torrent. Oh, man. Oh, I'm up to 436k gold. I find that I do make gold when I sit down and try. Like, I reached a point with my alchemy where I can now mass produce things for gold the same way that I did in Dragonflight. It's a pretty big investment to do so, but it is possible now. And if I pick the right things, I'm usually able to actually sell the supply. It takes a couple of postings, but I'm able to sell it and more or less make some gold. It's about as good as doing my concentration. It takes longer. There's definitely an argument to be made for just making my concentration crafts and otherwise not worrying about it. But I do feel like it's worth my time to get set up anyway. With, I'm gonna fish that glimmer pool for a Dornish pike. I don't think I should, but I'm gonna. I want my 1 derby mark. DVK Joe, thank you very much for giving out another 5 gift subs. Appreciate it very, very much. Wholesome chat, extra wholesome today. I need to scroll back up and catch up a little bit here. Wish I took more time to work in my professions. It's not too late. There's actual catch-up built in. There's actual catch-up this expansion. Unlike Dragonflight, where if you started late, you were just kind of out of luck for a long time. If you get in and you do your weeklies, you will be able to get extra knowledge quickly to catch up through. Not like all at once. It will take some work, but you're going to get more knowledge points from your patron orders for a while until you're caught up to where everybody else is. You can make flasks profitably without the multi-craft? Not usually flasks. I never said flasks. Drops do not start until the 22nd. Not until the 22nd. Next week with the patch. Got a big patch week coming up. Kitty cat, where do you want to sit? You can sit on the bed. You can sit on my lap. You can sit anywhere you want because you're a cat. Very least able to 5-star an offhand for my lock. Very nice. I want to catch up a little bit up here. Favorite person to watch? Aw. Vibes and WoW. Yeah. I do like Mythic Plus and Raid, but I don't stream very much of them. I stream Mythic Plus sometimes, but I can't talk to chat as effectively when I'm doing keys. And I don't feel like I'm a player to the point where anybody should be trying to copy what I'm doing. So it's not that valuable for me to have like a ton of a library of me doing keys, because, you know, if you're trying to learn how to play a Shadow Priest, there's probably a better Shadow Priest that you should be basing your stuff off of. Or same thing for healing keys. I think we offer cat and dog and vibes. I'm gonna fish out this pool just to make another one respawn somewhere, but we need a royal ripple. If I do a whole lap of Hallowfall and I don't find one, I'm going to mosey on down to Ajkahet to go look down there, because sometimes that works. Sometimes there's some down there. Especially because anybody that's like really holding out for a hammerfish has to fish in Hallowfall. You cannot get those in Ajkahet. So it might be less competition down there. Still cool to see you play. Totally up to you. Aww. Cats, dogs, fish. Blah, 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 blah. No, not going for that. We're looking for a royal ripple. I have my dotty backs all ready to go. Not that they're hard to catch from a royal ripple, but it would be a real bummer to finally find a royal ripple. That's hard to say 10 times fast. And then you cast once, and then you get your dotty back, and you're about to throw it in and cast again, and your pool despawns. That would be no fun, so I want to be able to send it basically right away. Here, I'll even find it in my bags. Put it right in the middle of the empty one so we can find it. That's a glimmer pool. Oh, kitty cat settled down again. She's such a sweetie pie. Surfacing ripple. Looking for a royal ripple. Like royal icing. Or royal scotch. I'm out of royal things. That's the limit of my knowledge. Oh, blood in the water. I'm leaving the blood in the water. I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it for the people that need it. Oh, a ripple, a ripple, a ripple. Hang on. Dottie back. Fishing. Don't despawn. Don't despawn. No! How could this happen to me? God, don't despawn. Don't despawn. It's usually like a guaranteed. There we go. Whew, okay. I can leave it for other people. Usually it's like a guaranteed catch once you've thrown a dotty back in. Crown Royal. That's the one I was thinking of. The one with the bags that people put Scrabble tiles into. That's what Crown Royal's for, right? Crafting is a pain in the six-pack. I actually really like it, but there are lots of different valid takes. It's definitely more involved. Oh, there's blood in the water right there than it used to be before Dragonflight. Yeah. I've kind of stopped taking the angler threads because at this point I don't know if I'm ever going to make a weaver line. I'm going to park her by Merildar so she can... Actually, she can probably just stay right here. I'll transfer the marks over. Because I need 250 and I have 65 right now because we're going to buy 100, 150, 200, 250. And we can get it. And we can get the rest of it. I use Crown Royal as dice bags. It has a bag. Yeah, it's like a velvet drawstring bag. I think it's blue with like gold lettering on it, which makes me sound like an alcoholic. But it's because my grandmother had one of them that she used to hold Scrabble tiles for years and years and years. Make a weaver line and an alt and send it to your main. Yeah, I'd complain about it overwriting my perception enchant, but the truth is I actually haven't busted out the gold to buy a perception enchant for my main fishing rod. I don't even have an enchant on. I don't even have a blue fishing rod. I would like to get a blue fishing rod eventually, but I need to finish buying all my knowledge for my actual professions first. Just Googled it. You're right. Now that I've made a cohesive monk for my DK, time to go fishing. Very important first step. Dialogue UI is the add-on that makes my quest text look like that. I like it very much. Alright, off to Hallowfall. Hopefully this character works. This is the one that sometimes has trouble. I'm just going to take the core way down today. What about the legendary fishing pole from Legion? What about it? It exists. You can use it. It doesn't have any current expansion stats on it. So if you wanted to get War Within Perception, it's not going to help you at all with that. It doesn't have any War Within Perception at all. So if you wanted a boost on catching the blue quality fish, then it's not going to be any good for that. But it does do the water breathing and the swimming thing, which a lot of people find valuable enough to keep it equipped. Don't like these new fishing rods. I have my Underlit Angler and I refuse to get rid of it. Yeah, a lot of people like them a lot. I've stashed mine. I have one on my main. I've just stashed it in a bank somewhere. But because I've been favoring the new rods. But that's not necessarily because it's like best to use the new rods or anything. It's just because in my mind, I'm like, is new expansion, I use new thing. Organized. Clean, you know? That's just how it works in my brain. I don't want to use an old expansion thing in current expansion, with the main exception being that I'm still carrying around my Dragonflight Augment rune, because I'll be darned if I spend gold on actual Augment runes, and I'm still going to get like 100 int off the old one. It counts, right? Oh, I should untrack herbs and ore so that I actually can fly right by them and not get distracted while I'm doing this in this character. Except the Alchemist Stone. I mean, I don't have an old Alchemist Stone. I also don't have a new Alchemist Stone. I just don't transmute anything. Hidden option number 3. Don't use it. It's been working out real good for me. Sorry about that. Air in my straw. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Shiny, shiny, shiny. Oh. Kitty looks a little comfy. Never gone the transmute route. I don't actually know how good it is in The War Within. I know that it was very good in Dragonflight, and it made sense for people to even have many alts that were all set up to transmute, but I don't know if that's the case anymore. Let's throw in a fishing hat just because we can. And then I'm going to mine one last note of bismuth. And then we will untrack them. Just to, well, I didn't pick it all up. There we go. We can untrack the herbs and minerals, and we can track the fish just to stay a little focused here. Maybe eventually I'll use a spark on my priest to make a current expect alchemy stone. That would be so funny. I'm not gonna wear it, but I could craft it. I don't think they're terrible trinkets or anything like that, but I'm not gonna make like a crest for it. Hallowfall Fishing Derby. I forgot to send this character. I forgot to send her the lure, but I need to find out if she's broken or not. I need to find out if she's gonna like auto catch them all in one go. Just fish, not herbs. Oh, blood in the water. Where's my boat? Hello, boat? Oh. Well, we can just do this. Use my boat to raft. Am I water breathing? Use a new rope. Yeah, I've been using... I mean, for my priest, I just levitate. Because that's very easy. No, she's broken. This character always has this bug, but it's just this character for me. And at this point in the expansion, I'm starting to think they're never going to fix it. Or, like, if they do fix it, it's not going to matter. Because I think this is my last week of doing the fishing derby, assuming that I get enough marks. There's no real reason for me to continue after this point. I need to make sure that I send my next character a nice little pack of 1 dotty back, maybe 2 dotty backs. Just 1. 1 dotty back and a... whatchamacallem? A lure. So my next character is going to be Anthus. Does make me a little sad about blue fishing poles being better than legendary ones. In my brain, it makes sense because I don't like a world where you're requiring a brand new player to go back to an expansion that's 10 years old and get some item from 10 years ago in order to be relevant now. I don't like that paradigm, so anything that they do to make the current stuff relevant for current content makes sense to me. Regardless of the color of the name of it. Okay, I was gonna send to Anthus. He gets a dotty back and he gets a lure, which I'm not convinced does anything because I caught it without the lure last time, but we'll see what we can do. And I used a lure and I didn't catch a fish, and also I didn't keep the lure buff. That seems like the worst of all worlds. All right, Anthus, you take your fishing kit. And I will leave this character here so she can mail out fishing kits to each character in turn. I still got his fishing hat on. I can turn on... Am I cold enough to turn on my foot heater? I am in love with my base layers. I got one, like, merino wool shirt to wear underneath other things like sweaters or t-shirts or something. Because I was trying out some better tech. Because I do have base layers, but I always had like super cheap like polyester ones from Walmart. And I actually like got like a smart wool knockoff. And I love it. It's super comfy and it keeps me really warm. And now I kind of want more of them. I kind of want a long sleeve one, but I don't know if I need it. It's just, you know, I'm excited. It's new layering tech. It's nice and lightweight, so it doesn't feel super bulky. Kira looks so tiny in the bed. Little itty bitty kitty cat. Good sweater, so worth it. I like the base layers because in my mind they don't have to look nice because I'm just putting them underneath other things, and they also, you know, like you can wear them with my existing collection of sweaters, you know, like if I had one sweater and it was like the warmest thing ever, I would wear it all winter, but I would be wearing the same outfit all winter. But if I have a really good base layer, I can wear that with my whole wardrobe and I can still be just as warm, more or less, depending. But I can change up the look without having to change up the warmth. In theory. I may have thought about this too much. Alrighty. Let's go catch some fish. Let's go this way. We're looking for... I mean, at first I'm just going to kind of fish from any pool, but then we're going to be after ripples and blood primarily. You warriors! Like an onion! Or parfait! Who doesn't love parfait? Not that anyone here is an ogre. I need a nap. Listen, I am pro ogres. I watch Shrek. Calm, surfacing ripple. I think I'm gonna hold the hammerfish lure until I find a blood pool, because I wasn't having any luck using it before then, and I don't know when I lost my hammerfish lure buff, but I don't want to mess with it. It was 200 gold to buy the darn thing. I don't want to mess with losing the thing. Also, that's a good tip for anybody that's got, what is it, leatherworking or skinning or something? Wants to make a little bit of gold, is on Saturdays, check to see what the derby quest is, and if there's any lures associated with the derby quest fish, and I bet you anything their value spikes on that day. I'm happy. Oh, there's a rare over there, but I'm not going to stop for it. No time for rares. Only fish. I wonder how long it'll take, or if I'll be able to get all of the marks. 250 is kind of a big ask, but I already have 40, so it's only 210, but it's kind of a big ask for one day. And this is kind of a bad week for it, so I'll do my best. I don't know how many marks I got last week. Last week we fished pretty continuously from the beginning to the end of the stream. And we did decently, but I don't think we did like 200. But what if I really want it? There's a pitchfork. Important for any mobs, any monster chasing. I'm feeling pretty good this weekend. I went into my files and I organized some things and I printed some things and I sent some emails and I requested an appointment, which was something I've been putting off doing for ages, so I feel good to have done that. I still need to figure out when it is and then go, but I gotta make sure I do some money stuff before the end of the year because the calendar matters, or something. I'm glad that there's smart people in the world that I can pay to help me with things like banking. That's good. Yeah. And, oh, there we go. There's my nibbling minnow. I'm still not like a changed person. I still have a lot of problems with letting my anxious feelings limit my life. But I feel like I'm getting a little better at staying in the sticky spot for a little longer every time. And it opens up the world a little bit. It's good. I like to think that's a yoga lesson. Something that you learn in yoga is that if something's hard, that means that, assuming that you're not like doing it terribly wrong and it hurts, but like if it's a really difficult thing for you to hold, that's a great place to be because you're doing work and that's where your growth is. And I think there's this, you could make a similar statement about anxiety, whereas if I'm scared, that's perfect. It's great. That's exactly where I need to be. And if I can sit in that feeling and not run away from it, eventually it'll get smaller. It's like a video game with monsters that like shrink when you look at them. If you can just face it for long enough, you'll power up. But if you run away from them, they get bigger. And those sticky spots are exactly, I mean, they suck, but they're exactly where you need to be. So, it wasn't a big accomplishment for a lot of people, but it was a big accomplishment for me. And I think voting this morning was a big one for me too. Like there's plenty of years in which I would have been like, well, I'm not going to get in trouble if I don't do this. I don't really know how it works. I'm nervous about it. I'm not going to go. And this time I was like, I'm going. I'm going to find out what's going on. Stanislaus, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Appreciate it. I'm doing okay with downward dog, but bathing cat is just too much. Yeah, see my kitty cat. You see my baby girl. No, thinking. I love seeing her grooming because it means that she's feeling pretty good. She's doing okay. If she's really not feeling well, she won't groom herself and I have to brush her a little bit extra. But whenever she's comfy like this, she's in pretty good spirits, feeling pretty good. I love seeing her in the giant bed. It's excellent. It's perfect. I think it's amazing that she found that bed and was like, ah yes, this is clearly for me. Thank you for purchasing me this enormous bed that is exactly the right size for me. No questions, no trouble, no problems. Left, come back, cat kicked out the dog. I think he left first, but she'll hold her ground if he comes over and tries to lay down. It's pretty funny. The first time she ever did this, he came in, he was like, wait, no, that's my bed. Why won't she leave? And he was kind of like jumping around in front of her, which usually makes her leave. And she was like, no, I'm comfy. Go away. And she won. He left and she stayed. She's got his number. She's figured him out. Cats and puppy get along. It's just the one kitty cat. And they do now, which I am so happy about. I'm so happy. Oh, they get along quite well. He is very good, which is a big deal because he's like younger than 1.5. He's enormous. He's very high energy. He's very bouncy. He's hyper. He wants desperately to play with everything. So being able to leave the cat alone is like the biggest deal for him, and I'm so proud of him. We spent a whole year working on it, but we got there. It worked. I've had cats in the past that bully giant dogs. Yeah, I've definitely heard a lot of stories. My sister used to have a cat and a dog, and the dog was enormous and the cat was normal cat-sized. And the dog would be asleep. Like, the sweetest dog ever. Would never bother the cat. Just an absolute gentle giant. And she would be passed out, and the cat would be like, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm bored. I'm gonna go bully that dog. And the cat would, like, attack the dog. Like, that cat. Oh, blood in the water, blood in the water. That cat, bless its heart. May he rest in peace. Great cat. A little bit of a violent streak. It's what the people call spicy. And this was like premeditated, unprovoked spiciness. Either that or it was holding a grudge from years ago or something. But there we go. That worked that time. We got a hammerfish. Mere existence of a dog annoys most cats. Kira is getting closer to putting up with him. Like, he wears her down a little bit every day. Because he wants desperately to be friends. And he's really good about, he wants to be friends with things so badly that he'll be like, okay, well, how do you want to be friends? What do you want to do? If you don't want to play, that's okay. What do you want to do? Like, he'll adapt his interactions to whatever it is that he's trying to interact with, which is very cute when he's trying to play with like a tiny dog or a cat or something like that. And she's just like, nothing, just leave me alone. But he's always kind of pushing his boundaries and like trying again and being like, are you still mad? Does this still annoy you? And I have a video that I want to try and pull up and show you guys from yesterday of them hanging out that I thought was really funny. But I think that Moose is growing on her. She head bumped him when she came home from the vet, like on purpose, and was purring. And he like licked her on the face and the ears. And she didn't mind at all. She wasn't even mad. It was so cute. There's hope for them yet. I have time. I'm gonna find this video. This is very important. I think it should be on my PC by now. Oh, I have some cute photos of Moosey too. I always have cute photos of Moosey. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So I took this. Hang on a second. Just from the same point of view, basically, that you're looking at. Same bed. She was sleeping there, and he shows up. And he's laying down, and he just puts a paw, like, on her tail, kind of on her butt. And she's just like, I guess this is fine. I suppose this is okay. And he's just, like, hanging out, licking himself, and being like, are we friends? And I think this is nice because this is what he does to me when he's feeling kind of mushy, is he likes to put a paw on my foot, or he'll put a paw on my leg if we're on the couch. So in my mind, this is like a sweet thing from him. And the fact that she's putting up with it, I think is so funny because those paws are big and heavy and quite warm. Like you're gonna know if he's stepping on your tail. And they hung out like that for like a minute. It was so cute. One of the first videos he posted when he introduced them together, you could see how gentle Moose was. He's a sweet boy on the inside. He doesn't have a mean bone. He always means well, but sometimes he just gets too excited and he messes up because he's too hyped up. That was his problem, was he definitely like chased her under the bed a couple times when we tried earlier when he was younger, because he was just like, oh, we're playing, and she would run and he would be like, yes, we're chasing, and then we'd be like, no. And it took a while for him to learn that that was not acceptable with the cat, because it's totally fine with dogs, right? Like he'd play with dogs and they would chase and wrestle. And it took a while for him to figure out what was, that didn't transfer to the cat. Ash, wave that shirt. You like my sweater? I'm wearing my big fish for fishing day. We're looking for a royal ripple for the lure fish now. Shall we? We did find one eventually in this zone on my priest, but I wonder if I should just go to Ashkahet. I wonder if I should just scooch on down there and look for it. Because his hearthstone will take him back to... Oh no, Dornigal. Let me drop by Meraldar and set the hearth there. Just a baby. This is my kitty. She tolerates me. I think he loves that cat. I think he would be quite defensive if something tried to threaten the cat. He was very concerned for her when we were kidnapping her to take her to the vet. Not in like a guardy way, but just in like a, wait, huh, hey, where are you going? She doesn't like that. Here, he loves her. I don't really know why. He's just a sweet boy. He loves everybody. Saturdays, best to fish up slum sharks. Alrighty, we're going down to Hallow, or Ashkahet. Let's see if we can find a royal ripple there. We're gonna be doing this a few times today. Oh, I need to turn on my toe oven. My feet are getting cold. Alright, let's see. Who's we? Who's we? What was the sentence? We could mean a lot of things. I do have a partner, if that's the question. I have a romantic partner in a spouse adjacent role. Was working on a new art piece. Time got away from me. All good. No worries. We don't do attendance here. You're okay. Spouse adjacent sounds weird. It's just a Canadian thing. He's my common law partner. Calm, surface, and ripple. Spouse adjacent makes it sound like I'm in a cult. Am I in a cult? Could join a good cult. Yeah, a little bit. Does your partner play WoW? That's a great question. What am I prepared to share about him? I've shared that he's a man. That's relevant. That's key. Or it's not like key, you know, it's not like a problem one way or another, but there's that. What else? He fishes. The cult serves good cookies, I'm in. Do you like paladin or priest better? I'm a priest main. This is just an alt that's doing the fishing derby. I'm a diehard priest fan. Does he play video games? That's a good question. Oh, a royal ripple. We always said we would introduce him one day, but we haven't gotten around to it. Alright, so we throw in the dotty back, and then we're fishing. IRL fisherman. We both fish. We hobby fish. He's not a professional fisherman. When I was played, I was a Windwalker monk mate. Does he have hair? There he is. He does have hair. I cut his hair, actually. I cut both of our hair. That's what makes me feel like I'm a little bit of a cult. I'm in the bathroom with the clippers, like it's still in the early days of the pandemic, being like, matching buzz cuts. Partner reveal. Cool event. Giveaways, activities. Giveaways! People should be giving stuff to me. You have a cute cat. Who is taller between the two of you? Me. That would be me. Pretty sure stronger than an ox, can leap tall buildings in a single bound. He is very strong. He is the designated tough jar opener. Nice. I do have a cute cat. Spec on your priest, did you play for Mage Tower? Shadow, and it's a horrible mistake. Don't do it. It was terrible. It was awful. But I did it out of a point of pride. Is he a superhero? He's the best pet dad. He is such a good dog and cat dad. He's so sweet and good with them, and he's very responsible. He loves them to bits. I want... Turn this in and then get on the next character. Also, I can send the fish. I'm going to try and stay on top of sending all the fish 2 inksies so I can just kind of sell them all at the end of this. Amazing to introduce him in a Halloween costume, including a mask. Disguised toast style. Do-do-do-do. How people treat animals says a lot. I think so too. I think so too. Okay. I'll take that. And then it's time for the next character. So he's going to have 22 derby marks to pull. So we're going to log on. I think next character is Evaleria. So I'm going to log back onto my priest, send her hammerfish lore, very important. And her hammerfish lore and her dotty back. The dotty back's kind of not that important because if you don't get a lurefish from the Royal Ripple, you're probably gonna get a dotty back and you can just throw that in, but it just makes me feel a little bit better. And I'll also pull the currency here. Twins, objectively, I feel that is the most difficult. Yeah, it was horrific. It took me like 9 times as long as any of the other challenges. It was so hard. I did it on Shadow Priest the first time Mage Star came out, and then again during the redesigned one in Shadowlands. We did it twice, and it was bad both times, but it was worse the second time, because the first time you could cheese it, and the cheese was not effective the second time, so you had to actually do the fight properly, and ugh. It was hard. Okay, Evaleria is going to get 1 dotty back, and 1 lovely hammerfish lure to save some time. Perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead. We're saving up 250 derby marks. We're going to pull our 22, so we're 87 of 250. Met a new kitty while walking this morning. We just stared at each other for like 2 minutes before she scurried off. Aww. Every once in a blue moon, I get to pet a new cat that I meet outside, but not very often because I usually have my dog with me. You mean the Murloc onesie? Partner, also shorter than me, designated Jarup. I'm already wearing my fishing hat because I never took it off. Nope, not doing that. Not doing that. Where's the... Oh, thank you, Perk. You found the button. Did get a photo, which I promptly shared with my friends. We communicate with cat pictures. Mage Star even cheesier and more within. You can use hero talents. Beat me to it, Perk. Alrighty. I think we are tracking fish. Off and away. Velia, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Appreciate it. Also, Bullets in the Booth. Thank you very much. Pick me for your Prime subs, guys. Aw, shucks. Thanks for all the WoW content, even going back to the pet battle days. Thanks for watching it. That is a glimmer pool. We don't need that one. Or we're not, like, dying for it anyway. The nibbling minnows come from... Why is my Weakora half done? That's peculiar, right? It's a bit suspicious. Oh well. We'll see if this... I wonder if this character's broken or if the Weakora is just not working quite right. Kitty Cam's so perfect. She's real sweet. She's a good girl. No, there's her. No, she is broken. Darn it. Well, I didn't need to use the lure then. I wonder why. She's not leveled. She's only level 70. You know, we've got lots of characters. At least it's fast. It's probably actually a little bit faster for them to be broken like this than it is to do the thing properly. But you do get like half as many tokens. That character is broken. Just happened to me. I could have sworn that I did this last week on this character. I know that my hunter is broken. What if it's night elves? What if it's night elves? I'll never figure it out. No rhyme or reason. Alright, well, that was a waste of a hammerfish lure. At least we caught a hammerfish. Get 30 gold back. Been probably about 10 years since I've played WoW. Lots has changed in 10 years. Some things never changed, but a lot has changed. Isn't it crazy that 10 years ago was just like Legion and not like BC? This game's old, man. We are looking for Inksy. She's gonna get this and this. And then I will pick out my next characters. 10 years was WOD? Oh, shush. Yeah, I guess Legion was 2017, wasn't it? I want Valyria next. That's right. If the weak core doesn't show all the fish. Yeah. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind next time before I blow a lure. Proper research of the neat catches. Logging through some characters. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's take this, and then we'll send it to Valyria. One of these. These. And I can pull my paltry 10 derby marks. I've heard that theory about the Derby Dash buff. I haven't found it to be true, because I had that rule would have held true for Anthus, and his thing worked just fine. I think that's just a rumor. I think that it's just broken and it behaves in unpredictable ways. Had the weak aura issue last week. Reloaded console. Straightened out. It does drive me nuts when stuff breaks like this, though, because we all just drive ourselves crazy trying to find a consistent workaround, and you'll find things that kind of work sometimes. Oh, this is the wrong hunter. I can do it on this hunter as well, but the other one actually has the stuff ready to go. Just so weird they haven't been able to fix it. I feel like it's either very hard to fix, or maybe their hearts aren't in it. Maybe someone somewhere has just been like, well, everybody that's doing the derby is getting around it anyway. Or let's turn our attention to the next patch that more people are going to engage in. Just a bit strange. Only bugs and other characters in the first one caught all 20. I haven't found that to be the case either. I've found sometimes it bugs and sometimes it doesn't, but I've never caught all 20. Okay. So her weak aura looks fine. Her weak aura looks for sure fine. My buff definitely hasn't timed out on my first character. And there's a blood in the water right here. Okay. So we're going to go hammerfish lure. And we're fishing. Can't believe the patch is so soon. Don't know how to feel about that. I think it's at the right time. I'm definitely not finished with everything I wanted to do in the first patch. Or everything everything I could have done in the first patch. But I do feel like I've kind of reached an equilibrium. Especially with now having finished the raid on Heroic. Where I could be ready for some new content. Especially because it's not like a new tier. It's just going to be more of a diversion for a little bit. There we go. Those hammerfish lures are worth it. You just don't want to hold on to it until you get a blood in the water pool. Don't burn it on open water or any other kind of pool. Unless you have like sick fishing skill or something. But if you find just one blood pool, you just need the one cast. Weak aura link. Yeah, I'll dig it up in a sec here. Haven't done any derby. Scared it's going to be part of the meta achievement at the end of the expansion. I mean, the Derby Dash achievement is really not very hard to do. You don't have to do it all in 1 week. You can do it across as many different weeks as you want. You just have to catch each of the fish once. The coelacanth is the toughest one, and you just have to know the tech for it, and then maybe have some fishing skill. It's really not that bad. And you get a mount. There is a big Ka, Legend of the Deep, a big red fish mount you get for doing the achievement. I read an article, talk of WoW being brought to console. What are your thoughts on that? I think that controller support is very good. I think that if they brought it properly to console somehow, it wouldn't change my life at all. Because I wouldn't play it on console, because it sounds like a worse experience than PC. And yeah, wouldn't harm me. Would probably get more people into the game. What am I looking for? I'm looking for that weak aura link to share. But it would just be like when they make like mobile games tied to WoW. It's like when they came out with Warcraft Rumble. It's like, well, this affects me in no way. Fishing Derby helper. That's the one right there. It would make pugs worse. Yeah, but pugs are already bad. Like, it's the lowest common denominator is already on the floor, and all the players that are already playing the game will still be in the game. So within your regular bracket of play, unless you are, I don't think it would make things that much worse. And if it did, then maybe you want to add some people and form some groups, and I don't know. It's privileged of me to say because I'm lucky to have a regular group of people to play with. But getting more people into the game and then policing how well they play, I feel like is not the best way to have a healthy community going forward. Being like, you guys can't play because you're gonna suck and you're gonna make my Thursday afternoon take longer. It's like, just, you know, doesn't have to be a big deal. I feel like a lot of people would love to have it on console just to be able to comfortably like log on and do things like, you know, fishing and herbing and like pet battles and stuff, like just flying around and doing world stuff without needing to play super hard. Wow, pet battles and phone could be fun. Fishing on phone. I think it would work. Would it be fun? Is that fun? I guess different people have different definitions of fun. No one gets to be the fun police and tell other people they aren't having fun. The idea of doing a pet battle on my phone does not sound fun to me, though. That sounds really boring. But to do my own, this might already do the job. Mostly pugged my way to KSM. Can confirm, pugs are already a mixed bag. No issue with console players being in that bag. There are rumors the Xbox might be discontinued. Like the original one? Is it not already? I don't know what number of Xbox are on anymore. I haven't had a console in years. My ex used to have a PlayStation 4 and I would use it to watch Blu-rays. Oh, you know what? I played Bloodborne on it. That's what I played on the PlayStation was. I played Bloodborne because it was a PlayStation exclusive. That was a good game. But that was about the end of that. I like the Nintendo Switch. If I could sit on the couch doing Dragon Riding or Pet Battle World Quest, that would be very relaxing. Yeah, and you can already do that with like the controller support and then either like a media PC or like the Steam Deck or anything. But I tried setting that up because I was like, oh, I want to do that. And I had kind of a miserable time of it. I didn't get the hang of playing with the controller, even with the controller support enabled. And there are add-ons that supposedly make it better, and I installed those and I tried to set them up. I gave it a good college try, and I did not have a very good time. I ran into a big problem where I couldn't, like, in order to click accept on like a quest window, I couldn't find any better way to do it than to use my thumb wheels to move a cursor and then click on it, and that seemed obnoxious, and I was like, I'm not doing this. I was gonna level an alt. I was gonna just like level a classic alt that was gonna be mainly auto attacking, and I couldn't pick up quests. Maybe actually Roaring would have been better, but I gave up on it pretty fast. Switch is excellent. Baseline being the floor does not mean to build a basement. What if there's people down there, man? Don't you think we're being just a tiny bit selfish? One thing I did was transfer all my Time Walking badges to my main. Apparently you have 100k of them. Holy smokes, you're rich. Felt like I would need official support in a device that doesn't mess with my normal setup just to use the controller. I think there is to some extent official support built in for accessibility, but I didn't find it to be wildly effective. But if I'm on my couch, I just play Hearthstone Battlegrounds. Oddly enough, with a mouse, actually. I'm not even playing with the controller. I just have a little wireless mouse that I keep on my coffee table. And I'll either, like... You want to know something obnoxious? Is I will play Hearthstone Battlegrounds on my media PC in my living room by sitting back on my couch, and sometimes I'll just kind of, like, lay out and I'll stick an arm out on the coffee table and I'll do this. And sometimes I will take my rather expensive laptop, drape a napkin over it to make the surface really smooth, and then use it as a mousepad surface to play Hearthstone Battlegrounds on a different computer. What are you gonna do? I could just get a clipboard, but that's not as much fun. I had a nope, no more thoughts. I thought I had more of that sentence, but I did not. Only 100k. Has it occurred to you that today many of your messages are designed to disagree with people and or mildly nettle them? Sometimes I think to myself, am I too sensitive? And maybe I am. That's an open question still. But then I realize it's literally just like 1 or 2 people that usually get under my skin, and at that point, maybe it's not me. Yeah, royal ripples are hard to nail down. It's not every day, and I like having you around. It's just that some days it feels like you're just trying to poke at stuff with like everything you say, and it's kind of a vibe killer. And I'm kind of in the vibe industry. Hazel's so angry that she snaps at people. That is me. Anger. Really looking forward to the anniversary event. Yeah, it should be fun. I'm gonna find out when it comes out what's going on for it for me. I'm pretty out of the loop. Every time I tune into the stream, you're doing the Hallowfall fishing. What are you grinding for? Is it possible you're tuning in every Saturday? I am grinding derby marks to buy all the whatchamacallit, the transmog off the vendor. Is this dressing down? I feel like I'm not being that harsh, but maybe that's just me being biased. I feel like we're just having a conversation. People disagree with you 100 times, and that's normal, but you disagree with somebody once, and all of a sudden you're angry. Comes out on Tuesday, that is true. That's a good truth. That's a good truth. It will be out on Tuesday. And I will walk around and I'll be like, everything's new. They changed so many things. I'm gonna look in Ashkahet for my Royal Ripple. Yeah, I think we're doing okay too. No, you're all good. What else is going on? What do you guys got going on Saturday? I was in line at the voting station this morning, and there was a family in front of me and behind me talking about whether or not they were gonna like meet up to go pumpkin or apple picking or something with their little kids, and it was very cute. Especially because I think if they did go, it would be like really rainy, but you know, if you want to go, you want to go. Might go out to look for a new couch. What is it that you look for in a new couch? What are your couch criteria? Open question for the room. I am a couch enthusiast. I love couch. I am a couch potato. I enjoy melting into my couch and becoming a burrito. And I find it interesting to hear what other people like in them. Not broken like the current one. Very good criteria. Score 1 point for not broken. Oh, a swarm of slum sharks. Yeah. Hang on. Boat time? Duck bobber. I really shouldn't be wasting time on a duck bobber, but this isn't even for the derby. This is just for gold. I somehow always end up apple picking on a rainy day. I need to turn my game sound up. I want to be able to read chat, but also hear my bobber, and it's very quiet to me right now. Easy to melt into, does seem important. I like a medium firm couch. I don't want it to be like a rock, you know. I want to be able to sink into it a little bit, but if it's too loose, not only will it get like more and more saggy and like unsupportive over time, but also my back will hurt after a while on it. And you know, I've got like pillows, or I have a pillow. I used to have more, but my puppy happened. I have a pillow that I can use to kind of like wedge in support, but I have a slip cover for my couch, and it's not super fashionable. It would never make Architectural Digest. It has holes in it from, again, the puppy. But I love it because I can just pull the whole thing off like a big fitted sheet and throw it in the wash. Which, as somebody who lets my dog onto the couch and my dog who goes outside and stuff, very important. I think it would be a nightmare to clean the upholstery otherwise, because it doesn't have, like, it has like a lovely open weave that I feel like would just hold on to dirt. So I like being able to just have a layer that protects it that I can just chuck on the wash and then have nice clean slipcover day. If it's not comfortable enough to sleep on, it's not for me. My couch right now, the main criteria was that it fit nicely in this space. I didn't want a couch that was too big for my space, and I wanted it to be big enough that I could lay down on it more or less. So it needed to be a certain length. It needed to look nice to me. And I also wanted to get something that was solid construction, because my last couch, I had a cheap IKEA couch, and it actually broke. Like the cheap particle board snapped underneath it at some point. I don't know how. It wasn't even during moving. I don't know what the heck happened to it, but it had like a big thing break, and then it was just broken forever. And like those things they're kind of destined for the landfill. I appreciate the need. When I needed a couch and I had $300, it worked real good for years. But not so sturdy to moving, so I wanted my next couch to be more of an investment, but made of like solid wood, so that I could hopefully, like, even if I needed to get the cushions redone or something like that, like the frame of it would survive throughout my lifetime, hopefully. But I would maybe one day, I guess it depends on if I have enough space where I'm like using multiple couches. I love the big L-shaped ones, the sectionals that have like a whole like chaise lounge that you can just like stretch out on, especially if you were gonna have like multiple large animals to cuddle with. I feel like you need a lot of surface space for that. Deep enough for me to scrounge up like the gremlin I am. Better that the cover has holes in the couch. That was what I was thinking. It protects it from the cat a little tiny bit as well. Although the couch definitely has some damage to the upholstery, but you can't see the damage because I put the slipcover on it. I have one of those. Absolute best. Breaks down into multiple pieces. Easy to move. Nice. Next time I move, I am budgeting to get movers to move my stuff. I knew when I bought this furniture that it was going to be heavy. That's the one thing, is I have real wood furniture and it's heavy as hell. And I was like, I bought this and I set it up and I'm like, when I move, I'm paying some strong people with strong backs to help me move this, because I ain't doing it. And I'm not making my family do it either. People with the right equipment, the right dollies and everything, the big truck, they're moving it. Totally worth it. Yeah. I've had movers before and it's been worth it every time. Makes things a lot easier. I sleep on a bed. I do not sleep on the couch. It's nice to have the couch be big enough that I could... I can't really sleep on it. Maybe. I can stretch out on it if I bend my knees, which isn't really stretching out on it, is it? At a certain point, movers are 100% worth it. I get when you're, like, young, and it's like you're moving into your first place. You know, you're splitting up with someone and moving into your own place. You don't have that much stuff. It's not that big of a deal to, like, get a desk and a chair and, like, your clothes and whatever, maybe a dresser, into a new place. That's a project that you can do with a friend and a box of pizza and a case of beer. But the more furniture you get, or the farther you're going, or, you know, are there stairs involved, etc. Getting help very effective, especially because they'll have all the equipment as well. Like, yes, you can go to U-Haul and you can get the blankets and you can get the stuff, but, like, never underestimate expertise. I sometimes feel owning 2 properties is easier than moving, and that's how landlords came to be. Faux leather, chihuahua that likes to dig, game over couch. Yeah. Moving with your friends and pizza beer parties is a coming of age ritual when you're younger. And it works great when you don't have that much stuff. And I'm sure there are adults that are, like, very minimal, that don't have very many things and are able to move themselves that way their whole lives, but the norm, at least around here, is that the older you get, the more stuff you kind of accumulate. And at least my furniture is heavy. I'm sure when I move out of here, these closets and cabinets and cupboards are just gonna vomit stuff. It's just gonna be like, where is all this stuff coming from? When did I get so many things? It's just gonna keep coming. It's a good time to declutter, at least. Whispers in the deep pools have anything neat? There's transmog from them. I think they're worth fishing if you see them, just because they often drop imperfect nullstones. They can give you angler threads, they can give you derby marks, they can give you fishing pages, they can give you transmogs, of course. Some of those being more valuable than others. I got a real nullstone and imperfect nullstones. That's kind of nice. That was a perception proc. Years ago, a friend of mine asked me if I could help her move a futon she bought from someone one weekend. I figured this involved putting it into a vehicle, bringing it to her place, and bringing it in. I was wrong. She meant to carry a futon 3.5 kilometers. You did it? It took us over 5 hours. That's bananas. I once carried a bag of potting soil, like a fairly large bag of potting soil. Oh, hey. Hallowfall Harvester's Pitchfork. Is that the same one from the vendor? I think it is. I think I just saved myself 50 derby marks. That actually begs a question, because it was on the auction list for 400 gold. Is there anything else that also... Like, I should check before I go shopping. Also, I still need a lure fish. We gotta find a royal ripple. I should check before I go shopping if there's anything else from that list that could be bought on the auction house to save derby marks. Because, like, 400 gold for 50 derby marks is 1,000% worth it. I have books. Opting for professional movers. Not moving my mattress myself. Finally got a proper one last year. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Montreal's vibe is very special. Oh, Royal Ripple. Royal Ripple. Royal Ripple. Yeah. Alright, where's my dotty back? There's my dotty back. Throw that in. Cast out. We're bugging. Come on, fishy. Any minute now. Ha ha ha. Nice, okay. Her Hearthstone will take her to Dornegal. Darn it. I keep meaning to set my Hearthstone to Merildar. I guess I can flight path myself. There must be a flight path nearby. There is one. It's over here. You can easily fly up the hill. I just suck at finding the door. So I would rather flight path myself and take a short break. It's 10:30. It's a good spot to... Good midstream break point anyway. And that way these people can work on getting me back to where I'm going. Is it down here? It is down here. Love having the flight paths be completely... Oh, what's all this? I don't have this stuff. I mean, I'm saving my resonance crystals, but it's good to know there's more stuff there. Nice having flight paths be game-wide. I can't believe he still doesn't have any texture in his hair. Isn't that crazy? This game is out. This is a Blizzard title. This guy is a story character. He has a name. He's still just walking around without texture in his hair. Come on, man. Flight path up here, maybe. There it is. TP to Dawnbreaker. I hate doing that. You have to... I hate doing that. Somebody said, oh, you just teleport in and out. And then they teleported in and out. And they're like, no, you have to talk to the NPC. And then I teleported in and looked for it. And it's like, oh, it's past all that trash. And I'm like, never mind. These goalposts keep moving. All right. That'll take us up. I will be right back. Meow. Hello? Hi. Yeah, it's just that one NPC that doesn't have the textured hair. The other one, Orwena, has lovely hair. Wanna come sit with me? But that guy, his hair just never got a texture. Alright. 4th, 80 in the books. One more, ready for the big event. Nice. Alright, let's go turn this in. We got 10 marks, so we'll have 20, which is good. Kind of the benchmark. More is great, less is okay. And while I'm here, the fact that I saved 50 just by fishing at the pitchfork is kind of wild. So I want to look at the vendor. And I want to just search specifically the things that... Oh, it's because it's BOE. So you can check to see which ones are BOE. So the Hallowfall Harvester's Pitchfork, you can buy it with derby marks. But it's BOE, so you could just go in the auction house and get it for gold. I want to see what the supply is like on this server. Harvester's Pitchfork. There are 7 of them. They're fairly common. So don't waste your marks on that. Are any of these other things BOE? Warband, 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 Warband. The Dalaran Defender. It says Warband, but I swear I've had that drop before. Maybe I'll look. Crimson Seas. Shoulder bag, rucksack. No. I think the rest of them I do have to buy. But it's worth just triple checking. Okay. Have you seen the cat in Dorne that you can't pick up? I have not. Other hair near don't have texture either. Orwena for sure has textured hair for me. I've seen it. But there could be more that don't have it. One innkeeper lady doesn't have. Found a white mouse named XIP. He was real cool looking. Missed the first 3 weeks of The War Within. Now after 1 month of playing it, I have to say I really like it. The fact that there's enough to do by yourself is very nice. Yeah. Alright, Aerith is going to be our next hunter to do the derby. I have my photos up. I have, this is a very flattering photo of me getting a fish cleaned out. I was making sure the cavity was clean, and then Moose being an audience while I was working on the fish. It's a trout, and then Moose is just like, "Hello, I'm Moose. Excuse me." Handsome puppy. Anything else? What else have you guys not seen? Quintessential me with fish picture. There's the one of the trout that I caught at Thetis Lake with me looking very stylish in my pink sweatpants. I like that photo. And what else? There's one more. This is a very messy looking photo of me when I first got my toe warmer. This is me with my foot oven looking extremely, again, stylish, comfy, with Moose looking like he's kind of judging me. Right when I'd first set it up. As well as like my spooky wig closet. Comfy is totally the style. Yeah, no, the rocks get super slippery if they're wet. You don't want to be up there if it's raining. Okay. I'll turn off show and tell time. Baby. It was just they were looking at me. Alright, Aerith is our next. Some people would like post them to Instagram or something, but that would be crazy. Why would you do that when you can just show them once on a 3-hour stream? What? If you wanted to see the pictures, why weren't you watching this stream at 10:40 a.m. on a Saturday? There's her fishing kit. Perfect. Tell me more of this foot oven. It is inexpensive. It is from Amazon. It is made in China. It is of questionable fire safety. It gets a little too warm even on the one setting, so I turn it on for a while and then I turn it off. But I keep my feet in it at my desk while I'm streaming or raiding or something, and it's amazing because my toes don't get cold. It's just like a heating pad that has like the foot blocks built into it, and it's much nicer than trying to keep my feet on a water bottle or anything. Discard. Yeah, it was about 35 Canadian on Amazon. It may break at some point. I don't think it's of particularly high manufacturing integrity, but... I too was locked out of the gram. Did manage to get my account back. Nice. I'm not locked out of the gram, I just don't post. I am locked out of my Facebook account, which is, you'd think the same thing, but I guess not. I don't know. They're linked. I can post to Facebook if I do it through Instagram, but if I try to actually log into my Facebook account, or like my Hazelnutty Facebook account anyway, I haven't had a personal one in ages. When it finally gets cold enough here, I'll buy one for myself. Had the opposite problem. Fall into gram scrolling of cat grooming and cat rescue. I am often, I am very easily like addicted to different internet and media things. Reddit's a big problem for me. News websites and stuff are a big problem for me. But funnily enough, I've never actually gotten addicted to Instagram. I'm not trying to. It's not on my to-do list. But they've never, maybe the algorithm has just never quite learned what I want well enough. Graham has never gotten me, which I think is good because it lets me keep it on my phone so I can still post stories without me worrying about losing my time to scrolling. Or not even the time. It's not the time, it's the brain cells. It's the fact that if I scroll for half an hour, I have brain fog for 3 days. Anything with endless scroll is bad for my productivity. I just, yeah, I have some bad patterns built up with it. I used it for years. Oh man, as an avoidance mechanism and is no good for me. So I keep a lot of things blocked. And I'm usually happier for it. I have a relapse every now and then, but the trick is just to pay attention to your habits and how they make you feel. Enjoy your life. Notice how your habits make you feel. I heard someone say that and it kind of hit for me. Glad I never managed to rabbit hole into Reddit. It becomes, after a while, when you've read enough Reddit, you realize that it's all the same. You can look at a post and you can already predict the top 5 comments without having even opened it, and then you're like, oh, I've been on too much Reddit. It's kind of insidious. So I think Zell is going to be my next hunter, so she can just take the kit, because she's not broken. Yeah. Be 11. You know what's funny, actually, is that I got the unique derby mark for catching the bitterling, but it also auto-completed my quest. I wonder if it had to do with the ones that it was flagged for. Maybe I didn't catch a bitterling on her last time. So strange. Just in over 20 cats or Reddits. It is a really good place to get started with basic level knowledge of hobby tips. The hobby subreddits for any hobby will usually have like a wiki with good links and resources. And sometimes they're good for troubleshooting. Like you'll be able to Google like how to fix a problem and you'll find a Reddit post where somebody had some ideas. Outside of that, the whole thing is just brain rot to me. And I say that because it's rotted a lot of my brain. I've put way too much time into it. Do you have a blue sky? What is a blue sky? I haven't been using Twitter in years. I have one that I have not posted on very much. I haven't felt a need to replace it with anything. I'm a really terrible influencer. I don't use a lot of social media. It's a problem. I think I could earn more money and have a nicer lifestyle if I posted things more. And also just generally made more content. Catch these trophy fish. Hang on. So, pick that up, accept. So she looks like it's going to be fine. So, there, off and away. Twitter alternative. Yeah, I haven't needed to replace Twitter. It wasn't adding anything to my life. And maybe it was adding to my business, but I feel like if I really wanted to add more to my business, I would be better off making more videos. Because that's like the content, you know? For me. The jury is out, and whether or not I'm happy to have my Instagram back, I might not actually use it. A lot of bots and reposts. Yeah, there's a whole industry of people that will try to and sometimes succeed at making livings off of just spreading around existing content or using AI to make barely original content. Or a royal ripple immediately. That's so lucky. Or if you did some sponsorships, true. Yeah, there are some good opportunities. I'm just not feeling ready. I feel like I don't deserve to do sponsorships until I have a steady content output, because that's what my job is. In my eyes, I am not here to advertise. I'm here to make content. And people pay me directly for that. People give me Twitch subs. People subscribe to my YouTube members. I get ad revenue. That's my job. If I wanted to sell additional advertising space on that, I feel like I want to already have a good grip on the workflow of having regular, steady content output. Because if I don't, it doesn't make any sense for me to be putting that effort into making advertiser content when I don't even have like good content to sell it on, right? Like you want to have a good video if you're going to put like an ad read into it. So until I get that sorted out, and maybe I never will, and maybe this is all I'll ever do, and maybe that's fine. But I just don't feel right doing sponsored ad reads when I don't even have YouTube videos coming out right now, you know? I need to get that. I would like to get that straightened out first. Mind you, I've been trying to straighten that out for 10 years, but you know, maybe this year's the year. All right, I'm so lucky. Here's my hammerfish lure. There's a blood in the water. I think this character's going to get this quest done real quick. Working for a big social media company has truly made being on social media unappealing. Yeah. Well, there's my hammerfish. There are good things about it. And it's kind of shooting myself in the foot to be preaching non-onlineness too much, because I make my living on you guys being online and watching my content. But a lot of it just makes my mental well-being worse. and the more time I spend unplugged, the better off I am. So I have not engaged with it as much, and it's been good. Two separate mechanisms. When I'm thinking sponsorships, I'm thinking somebody who wants to pay me to talk about their product for 30 seconds to a minute in a YouTube video. Those are most of the things that I get. Sometimes I get like a thing like doing a special stream for a sponsor, like a different game or like a service or something like that. And that would be its own content, I guess. But yeah, not top of my list right now. Doom scrolling is a huge thing for me. It's terrible. It's so insidiously hard to quit too. Like the realizing that scrolling, and I'm not cured by the way, like I still have problems with this, but the gap between me realizing that scrolling and being online was not a net positive for me and being able to actually make changes has been years and years and years, which is crazy because of, you know, like not engaging in the optional things should not be that hard. But maybe it's just my personality or my patterns or like the mental issues that kind of feed into this behavior for me that make it really sticky and difficult to move and difficult to change. It's hard to change your behavior. It's difficult to shift patterns like that. I have used lots of different strategies to greater or lesser effect. Sometimes I cycle through them. Nothing works quite as well as just being very mindful and aware of how you're feeling when you're doing your activity that you're trying to quit, and then staying mindful and aware through the whole thing and through how you feel after. And eventually, if you pay enough attention, it gets linked in your brain and you go, oh, I don't want to do the thing because it's going to make me feel crummy. But the nature of these things is that they're so distracting that it's really hard to make that link. And it's, especially if you have a lot of practice of distracting yourself, it's very hard to be and stay mindful when you're super used to running away from a bad feeling. And it gets into kind of a vicious circle where you're like, well, I'm online. I got online because I felt crummy. And then being online kind of made me feel worse, both because I read something that I didn't like, and also because I know that I'm avoiding my life by being here. So I'm already kind of on the wrong foot just by the fact that I know that I'm procrastinating. And then you're in that cycle of like, okay, I feel bad, so I run away, which makes me feel worse, so I run away more. And it's very tough to climb out of it. It's probably not a relatable topic for everybody. I'm sure some people have different struggles in their lives and they don't have this one. And it probably sounds insane to somebody that has a very different brain and a different bucket of struggles. But for me, it's been a problem. Deinstalled the media apps on my phone. Oh, the meta apps. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Just don't try to sell me energy drinks. What about gamer gummies? Energy drinks is something I've turned down a few times because I don't drink them. Because I feel like I'm not going to try to tell anybody else what to drink. If you enjoy your energy drinks, you live your life. Don't let me tell you what to do. I'm not your mother. Make your own choices for your body. I will never try to tell you what you shouldn't do, or at least I hope not. But for me, it seems like a crazy thing to put in my body on purpose. I'm already cautious with coffee. Like, it's like drinking rocket fuel. I don't know how I could possibly be expected to maintain balanced energy if I'm just like lighting up my brain like that. I don't drink them, and I don't think I ever would start like doing it regularly. I've tried them a couple times. My partner would have some and I would try a sip of it and I'd be like, good lord, that's crazy. No thank you, this is not for me. So I think for me to market them would be not a good brand fit. Not because I think they're unethical, but because it's like, I don't know, it would be like somebody who doesn't drink trying to sell you booze. It's just weird. Ace VZ, thank you for the 4-month resub. Appreciate it. I don't think you have to be like super aligned with a product in order to advertise for it or to make an ad for it. But I also think that there has to be some middle ground where you're like, well, at least I use the thing. I don't think the thing's a bad idea, you know? Love my rocket fuel. Do some amino energy drinks. Yeah, everybody knows their body better, and you can make your own choices for your own life. But in my little bubble, it doesn't make sense for me. What is the fish bar. That is my weak aura that tracks which fish I have yet to catch with my derby buff. Also, I've probably caught enough of them now that this character can go turn this in and move on. But yeah, things that I don't see myself advertising just because they're not good fits for me would probably include the energy drinks, gambling, not my cup of tea, and booze, just because I currently don't drink and I've been kind of enjoying not drinking. It's been nice for me. So I think that those are like the three that I probably wouldn't do. Oh, crypto. Investment schemes in general, I feel like probably not for me. The rewards, I will show you. So this vendor has a bunch of things that she sells, cosmetics for these derby marks that you get for doing the derby. So there's a whole dive suit transmog that I got recently. There's a clone of the Stinkrot Smasher mace. There's also other transmog items you can get. And it's also a source of, like, there's some cooking recipes, there's journal entries to get your alt fishing up if you really wanted to, angler threads if you felt inclined to do so. And the marks are warband transferable, so I'm doing the derby repeatedly on many characters, and I'm funneling all of the warband marks to my main. No nutty coin. Not for me. And I don't want to make anybody feel like I'm judging you or that I don't approve of other people, like, drinking or gambling or whatever. Like, I really think everybody should make their own choices. And people have their own situations and circumstances, and, you know, it's not my place to judge anybody. But for me, it would be strange. What are we doing? Oh yeah, I guess tobacco would be another one, but people, I don't think you're allowed to advertise tobacco even if you wanted to. What am I doing? I'm mailing my fish to Inksy. Not completely useless. Fun transmogs. Yeah. Do you want Ponzo's cream? I actually kind of wanted a new hand cream to keep at my desk, but it has to smell nice, and I don't think Ponzo's would. Alright, I want to get the fishing kit to Zelixia next. When are you advertising crypto? I'm sure everybody has a price. I can say all this, but I feel like if I was offered enough money, it would be naive of me to say that I wouldn't take it for, like, a house. I was once offered a fairly substantial lump sum of money to take a situation with a company that was aligned with things that I don't agree with, and I didn't do it. But that was because it was a lot of money. But it was not enough money to, like, change my life. Like, it couldn't have bought a house unless I was buying, like a trailer in the sticks. It might have been a pretty big part of a down payment, but it wasn't. I'm sure everybody has a price. I don't think I don't have one, but apparently that was not my price. What are we doing? We're seeing how many marks we have, actually. Because I think I now only need 200. So she can give me 21. And there's also 20 over here. Any more? 11. Any more? 10. So I need another 41. Yep. And I'm going to send a hammerfish lure and a dotty back to Zelixia so that she can more easily catch the lure fish and the hammerfish. If you are doing the fishing derby today, I highly recommend getting these Arathor hammerfish lures. You can buy them on the auction house. Use one right before you cast into a bloody pool on your character, and you should catch a hammerfish without in Hallowfall. Use it before a bloody pool in Hallowfall, and you should catch a hammerfish. Otherwise, you're going to be there for a long time. You can see the price they can offer you more next time. I think the amount of money that it would take to buy me is money that companies have realized is not sustainable to offer to content creators, and it's also nowhere near what a creator of my league would garner. I think it would take like 7 figures to talk me into doing something that's that against my morals, and I don't think anyone's offering 7-figure deals to streamers of my size. They shouldn't be. It's a huge waste of money. The thing I disagreed with was gambling. Loosely. Excited for the new warband changes. Gear and currency transfer. $1 million mint. Got it. Yeah. And I mean, then you got to think about the tax on it. And it's like a whole thing. Alright, let's go pick up another derby quest. I think we can get this vendor cleaned out today. I'm quite happy about that. Next Saturday, I'm going to have to come up with something new to do. I'm a little bit sad. I kind of like derby fishing on Saturdays. But I'm going to have it all done because I went very hard. This character looks like she's ready. She's all good to go. I have had this problem before. It's not a problem, but I've had this, like, topic to complain about before. And there's literally no fixing it because it's just me not knowing what I want to do. But I once again have come back to reflecting on, like, where I might want to live and what kind of place I might want to live in and what I might be able to afford. And only one of those things is an answer I can actually figure out. I can go to the bank and I can figure out what I can afford. And that's on my to-do list. But then within whatever that number turns out to be, there are a bunch of different options for types of places I could live in. And they're all vastly different, and they offer vastly different pros and cons. And I change my mind all the time. It kind of freaks me out a little bit. I don't know what I want. I don't have a dream. This is the less inspiring version of the speech. I don't have a dream. It is a big decision. It is. It's a huge decision that will... Like, you're buying that set of circumstances for years. It's not just like a thing that's like, oh, well, anything will be fine. I think anything would be fine. I think you can get used to a lot of things. And I think I could be happy in most places as long as I have the basic needs of life and my dog and cat and partner. I think I can be happy. But there's a lot of differences. I don't know. Next week we can do alt leveling with the event. That's true, actually. I think that's when my Prot Warrior is going to really take off. I have been kind of dragging my feet on leveling him a bit this week, partly because there's other stuff I've been wanting to do instead, and partly because I know that there's an experience buff coming, so I feel like that's the moment to actually level him up. Go all in on yoga, become a traveling yogi. Ironically, if I continue to be all in on yoga, it behooves me to stay very close to my yoga studio because I really like my teachers. And there are other places that teach this form of yoga, but there's not that many of them on the island. And I don't know, if you move to a place and there's one person and then you don't vibe with them, or there's nobody, or it's like a different kind of yoga, you can practice on your own, but I don't know if I would. I think that having the community and having my teachers is the only reason that I've stuck with yoga this long and done it so much and seen this much change in myself. So I'm really hesitant to give that up. But also, I live in a big city with insane real estate prices and big problems with a big dog. Does it make sense for me to get a condo? Maybe, maybe not. Dopelius, thank you for the 3-month resub. Cannot find a Queen's Lure fish at all. My strat for that, which does take a little bit of luck, is I carry around a Regal Dotty back. And then the first Royal Ripple that I find, I immediately chuck the Dotty back in and then fish from it. The trick is finding a Royal Ripple. Sometimes you don't find them in Hallowfall and you need to go do some laps around Ajkahet, and sometimes you just get crazy unlucky. But so far I've been able to get one within half an hour on most of these characters. Although a couple of them have needed, oh, there's one, to go to Ajkahet, but not this character. So I find my Ripple, I chuck my Dotty back, and I fish. This should do it. Theoretically. And if it doesn't, the next cast should. Yeah, there we go. You can get them without throwing a Dotty back fish in, but you're much more likely. It says 100% chance to catch a lure fish if you have tossed a Dotty back in. If you didn't buy one ahead of time, they're generally what you're catching from these pools is a Dotty back, so you could pull one up and then throw it in. But it's just nice to have one handy. Aw. It's very sweet, Pinky Blasts. I am not sure what my plans are. I would like to do something like that again. The format might change a little bit. They might be more and shorter. They might be more on one topic and longer. I don't think I would do the questions and answers again because it's very redundant with stream. I know that there's some people that can't make it to stream, that's the only place they can get their questions answered. But I found that overwhelmingly, most of the questions I got on Saturday News videos were things that I either didn't know or had no reason to know. Like questions for Blizzard devs, basically. Stream is usually a good place. And I'm around, 15 hours a week or whatever to answer questions. So I think that section probably wouldn't come back. Because of your content, passed my trial, killed my first ever Mythic Raid boss this expansion. Oh, congratulations! Think we're close. I'm in Seattle. Similar concerns about cost of living here. Yeah, there's just big pros and cons. And I want a lot of things that are sometimes not compatible. I want to stay close to my family and I want to stay close to my yoga studio. And I like all of the services of the city and how close it is for me to get to the emergency vet, to get Kira her vet services and stuff. But I also want some peace and quiet, and I want some room to grow things, and I want a yard for my dog to run around in, and I want to have nobody underneath to get upset if my dog has crazy zoomies. I want a bird feeder, and I want I want a lot of things. And I think I need to remember that human beings can live with a lot less than what I want. And that having those things isn't going to make me happy. It's just going to make my life different. And there's a lot of things that make my life great right now. I've lived in an apartment for basically my entire adult life. And I've been very happy. Off and on. But whenever I've been unhappy, it's not because of the apartment. We've talked about someday retiring to the coast. Victoria's beautiful, but we'll never be able to live there. Might go further up the north coast. You have a good thing, hold on to it tight. Yeah. If I did get a condo in Victoria, it would cost me a lot of money, but it's a good investment. You're always going to be able to sell it, and it would be shocking for the values to do anything long-term but go up in this city. There's too many factors that are driving housing prices up. It is incredibly unlikely for that bubble to pop. It's possible, I suppose. Anything is. But, like, in Victoria specifically, if you own something, then you will eventually be able to get something back out of that. Most likely. Which is a little different in different places. Although, values seem to be going up everywhere. So I wouldn't have to live here forever. But also, this province has some pretty substantial first-time homebuyer incentives that I can only take advantage of once. And once I've done that, it's going to be much more expensive for me to move the second time because you have to pay something called land transfer tax, which is, I think, like an extra... Here, what is it? Land transfer tax BC. You pay based on fair market value of the property, and you pay 2% extra on your property when you buy it, like when you're moving, unless it's your first time when they can waive it. And when houses are $1 million, that's not a small amount of money. It's not like you want to be moving every year unless you're really making big money doing so. It's expensive to change. You want to kind of settle in somewhere for a while. A-okay to feel like some of the things we want shouldn't be this unreasonable. Yeah, but I think it's normal to be frustrated at the situation, but it's not productive for me to be frustrated at the situation, unless I'm going to get into politics and campaign for change. I voted for change today, hopefully, but that's about the extent of what I'm going to do about it, so it's more productive for me to make my peace with whatever I have available and do my best. Real estate sales tax, basically, yeah. But, especially if you ended up somewhere like, if I moved somewhere really rural with like a standalone house that has like a yard and it's got like a big old tree with owls in it and like, good fishing and nature and hikes and stuff like right outside. If your roof goes and now you have a huge responsibility of not only paying for it, which you would still, if your roof in your apartment building goes, you're not off the hook. Your strata still owes that and you are still responsible. You do still have to pay money. It's not like it's free to live in apartments or anything. It's not like renting. But there's a lot more responsibility and there would be a lot of learning that would go along with actual freehold home ownership, especially if I ended up in like an older place, because I'm not very experienced in handiness. I'm not stupid. I have YouTube. I'm sure I can learn some things, but it would be a big learning curve for me. Yeah, a strata is like an HOA in the US, and they're, at least in BC, in urban centers, very ubiquitous. A lot of people be like, oh, don't buy anything with an HOA, and it's like, cool, you have $1 million. Are you willing to move 5 hours out of town? Like, most people here will live in one because that's all the townhouses and the condos and everything, they're gonna be strata. What are we doing? We are sending fish to Inksy and seeing where we're at with our derby marks. My mortgage is $1,088 a month for a 4-bedroom and 2 bathrooms. Wild. 150 more than my studio apartment. I don't want to give numbers, but that is very different from the kind of rent that I pay here. I mean, I am paying in Canadian dollars, which are different than what I'm assuming are US dollars, but holy macaroni. What would be the best reward of the derby quest if I'm at 100 fishing? I don't know. They're all kind of bad. It doesn't really matter. You can take the journal pages to help you get up to 300 faster. I've kind of stopped bothering with the Weaver line stuff. Yeah. So the strata doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the community building. The strata is the council of shared ownership. Everybody that lives in the building would be part of it technically because you all share ownership of the building. So you're paying fees into a combined pot to do things like management, maintenance, cleaning, you know, roof and building repairs, common area repairs, that kind of thing. It doesn't have anything. It might be established by the initial builders. Some of them are professionally managed and some of them are just managed by the people that live there, but it might be a little bit different than what you're thinking. Some of them are wild because you get like, you know, basically like tiny mini governments that are managed by just whoever happens to live there. Some of them get insane, but there are some of them that are, they pay a company to professionally manage it, which is more expensive but less drama, theoretically. What am I doing? I am pulling my derby marks. That's what I'm doing. 22. And that was all we had. So we need to do one more character probably. And I forgot to check who it is actually. Let me take a look. 2,900 outside Austin, Texas. Pay $1,550 for a 1-bedroom in Boston. Pretty low. Glad it hasn't gone up at all. HOA hires a management company to take care of most things. I would rather pay more for a management company that does things professionally and without drama than have like somebody who's just on a wild power trip from 3 doors down ruin everybody's lives trying to do things their way. I'm sure there are professionally managed situations that are not good, but like it just sounds better. I don't know. What am I doing? I'm looking for the next character to do this. It's not Barnacles. Oh, I need to move another character out actually. It's not Barnacles. Barnacles has a job. Hazeline could do it though. She looks ready to go fishing, doesn't she? Let's move her out, shall we? Yeah, because the rest of these characters haven't actually moved yet, so maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Hazeline. I have a building with a professionally run condo board, peaceful and organized. Totally worth the money. That's the dream. Don't have to pay for heating either, which is amazing. Yes, the strata would be on the line for digging it up. Just the same way that if you bought a cheaply built house and then your sewer erupted, you would be on the line for fixing it. Yeah, sure. Teleport me to Storm 1. That's fine. Yeah, I think they need better organization for the character select screen as well. Yeah. The type of strata situation you're describing, Saga, we have those here, but they're called co-ops. They're a bit different. I know somebody that lives in one where the members will actually share out the labor and assign people rotations of like, hey, you're mowing the lawn, you're vacuuming the hallways, etc. Got my lure fish. Nice, congratulations. Those places are often cheaper to live in, and sometimes they work very well, and it's kind of like a communal feel. And I'm sure sometimes it can be thorny. I don't know what's going on over here. Am I a holy speck? No, I'm in shadow speck. We're fine. Co-ops are cool. Sometimes they're the only affordable way for people to have a place to live, and they're, at least to my limited and uneducated knowledge, less predatory than something like a leasehold trailer park where you don't have any stake in the land that you're on, and whoever's running it can just jack your fees whenever they want. Manufactured home communities, I'm sure, have pros and cons, but they seem like they are a bit of a bad investment that can sometimes end up costing you more money than you saved originally. Hi. Alright, so we are in Dornegal. We're setting up a new character, which means I need to make sure I have fishing. I should do, because this character used to be my main back in Shadowlands. So I need to check my profession. She has fishing, but we're going to go train Kazalgar fishing. Very different. I need to send her kit. I don't need to get her a rod, actually. Some of these other characters, I got them a fishing hat and a rod. I don't think I really need to. No, not that important. So as long as she knows how to fish, she should be all good to go. I'm gonna fly my way over there, I think, and then I'll set her Hearthstone to Merildar and I'll mail the stuff. I don't think I need to set the Hearthstone, actually. I could, but like, I think this is my last time doing the Derby. I don't know why I'm setting all these characters up so permanently. Starting to like the Shadowy Friends glyph a lot now. Alright. I didn't used to be a Koroway enthusiast, but I'm kind of coming around for it, specifically for getting to Hallowfall, because I'm already used to flying down the hill. And it seems like it's faster for me to do this than it is for me to get myself reoriented when I port to Ashkahet. Culture and tradition. Oh, okay. I see, I see. Sometimes I like to go into the map. Warband map to everywhere all at once, and then that kind of like discovers my whole map. I mean, I guess I would be giving up the experience I get for it, but I don't even know if I'm going to level these characters. That's funny. I set my weak aura to only be active on a Shadow Priest because I meant for it to be only on my main, but this character happens to also be currently spec Shadow Priest. Hope they do more glyphs, especially for classes that have different forms. Like having Lightning Surge. Well, I never got the hang of it. I just kind of didn't. Also, this character's completely backwards. Her keybinds are all messy. Messy, messy, messy. Let me see. I'm going to need to send her a lure. Because she cannot afford to buy one of her own. And because it would be a nightmare trying to catch a hammerfish without one, especially with like no perception or skill or anything. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if perception's weird because like I've seen it proc for fishing, but it almost never says that it procs. I just kind of, it's feely crafting. It feels like you get the blue stuff more often, even if it doesn't list the proc. But like, if it doesn't list it, was it just luck? Who's to say? Far be it from this game to be consistent and make sense. So Hazeline's gonna get one lure and one dotty back. When I'm thinking about places to live, I also need to make sure I'm thinking about internet speeds, because lots of places have enough internet to browse the internet and do your online banking and play World of Warcraft, but not everywhere has good enough internet to live stream video. Upload is something that a lot of providers won't fuss themselves about, and if you don't have fiber, upload can sometimes be very sketchy, and if you have terrible upload, you're not going to have a very good stream. It's not going to work very well. And there's not a lot you can do about it either if there's just nothing offered in the area. I'd have to turn down the fidelity of the stream a lot, or completely pivot my model to be pre-recorded and not live. which would be very different. What are we doing? We are sending a Dottie back to Hazeline. And a hammerfish lure. Would it be easier to have the mats in the Warbeck? Yes. Yes, it would be. This is a topic that excites me. BC did a new coast project. Fiber will go all the way up. Oh. We have fiber in some cities and communities here, but definitely not all of them. And sometimes it's very random. Like one street will have it and the other street just hasn't run the line yet or something. Definitely something to keep an eye on when I'm moving. We are not here to make things easy. Some small towns are on the backbone. Alrighty. Let's go see if this is going to work properly. Because if it's not, then I'm going to need another character. Also, I once again kind of forgot to change my Hearthstone, but it's fine. She's not going to need to come back here anyway. Hello! Oh, looks good. Looks like it should be fine. So let's make sure we're tracking fish. I actually need to buy the fish tracking thing. Angler's Guide. You can spend 30 silver if your character doesn't know fish tracking yet, and you can just teach it to them. You could also fish up the book from a pool, but, like, takes longer. You may as well just drop the silver. I'm not calling you poor if you don't have 31 silver, but I'm kind of calling you poor if you don't have 31 silver. You could kill anything and make that much gold. Lucy was watching birds out a window today, which is something that lots of dogs do all the time. But it's kind of a funny angle for him to be able... The bird has to land on a very specific, like, part of the tree for him to be able to see it. Oh no, I don't have better fishing set up. Wait, quick! I need to be fishing! Just click the button. Do it the old-fashioned way. I don't have the add-on turned on in this character. I completely forgot. I'm hitting my fishing keybind and nothing's happening. I just need one. Oh, I can't see it in their bobber. And my sound's really low. There it is. Nice. Okay. That scared me for a second. Let's turn it on. I do have it turned on. Why isn't it working? Number lock not on? Maybe my binds aren't set up right on this character. That's weird. I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. How would you get to 70? No, I have 31 silver. Impressive. Not junk. It's treasure. Why are my keybinds so funny? What's going on here? Keybinds. Better fishing. Cast and interact. Number pad 1. There we go. Problem solved. You are probably looking for this. Here is our community Discord. Yeah, maybe it's character specific. I've never had that problem before. Maybe this character has character specific turned on. Like she's not using global keybinds. Because my profession window also wasn't opening the normal way. The old-fashioned way with her. You've inspired me to hit my first 1,000,000 gold. Before that, I've never had more than 100k. Nice. You're rich. Oh, kitty cat. Comfy kitty. She looks bigger on the bed when she's on the near end of the camera and also sprawled out. She looks like she got about twice as large. I feel like I can include myself in the market conversation. I was talking to an agent of something recently, and she asked me if I was over 21, and I'm like, for sure. And she was not, or she was quite young. So I feel like it was one of those moments that just kind of reminds me that I'm officially in a new phase of life. I don't feel that different than I did when I was 21, but I do also feel very different. Life's changed a lot for me in the last 11 years. You want to share what alchemy things you've been making for profit? You want to keep your niche to yourself? It's not that much of a niche. I've been making true sight files, harmonious horticulture, and then occasionally the other profession files profitably, especially with my file spillover and everything, depending on prices. But true sight files are great because I can generally sell them. The sale rate's good enough that I can generally move them without a lot of grief. And then I don't think any amount of people getting into harmonious horticulture is gonna mess with it too much because it's such a big thing. I'm a priest, I can just levitate. I don't even need to find my boat. It's a good thing I can levitate too, because this does not look like you could really... maybe you could stand on this, actually. Bit of an underwater ledge, get your feet wet. What was it? Where was I reading about people being described in different phases of their lives? And one of them, in your 30s... What was the word? I think it was Hindu life. There's 4 stages of life. Brahmacharya was student. Grasta was householder. And then there's more of them, but considering the difference between being in that like young learning, sort of unbound student phase of life and being in like your little bit of older, some more roots down, like the householder stage, even if a lot of us can't actually hold a house right now. Wow, this one you really would need a boat for. What about that one? There's a fish pool all the way out there. Is the word grumpy? I like that. There's different ways of looking at it. I think there's probably more meaning involved with it. But I don't know a whole lot of the background. It was a conversation about yoga and the different phases of life that people start with it. I don't remember what the point was though. I just remember being like, I've never seen that word before. That's cool. I've decided that since life begins at 40, I will more actively pursue art and creativity now that I am 40. Days when water delves are bountiful, breeding pots are fairly profitable. Yeah, that's smart. What am I out here for? I guess I'm looking for a royal ripple, which these are not, but in the meantime, I'm just getting extra marks. As long as I get 10, though, I think I have enough, because I only need 20-ish. 21, maybe? So I need another, like, 3 unique fish before I turn this in. I like this length for my hair, actually. This is nice. It dries fast. It can take like a tiny bit of styling to get like my little wavies in there, but it doesn't need a lot of work. It's not... You can't really super mess it up with a hat. Nice and quick to wash. Keeps my head just a little bit warm. I feel cute, you know. Good length. Although I definitely did a kind of uneven job this last time that I cut my hair, because I was looking at like my bangs and I was like, oh man, there's some tails in here. I did not do this thoroughly enough. Which is your favorite dungeon to pug on an 8 or higher for crests? Ooh, I can't lie to you, I've never pugged a dungeon for crests. I only run them with my friends. And we just kind of take whatever keys come up, although Mists is a very solid key, assuming that everybody knows what's going on. Mists is a very fast key to do if people are good at it. So I would probably prioritize that one. Yeah. What does chat think? What do you guys have? Need a haircut, but putting it off because I just dropped a wad of cash on a flight. I know that feeling. Look at any of them and I think, not that in the pug, not that one, nope. I like Dawnbreaker, actually. I like Dawnbreaker, and I maybe pugs are very good at the routing of it, but I need to trust whoever I'm following, because I don't know where I'm going in Dawnbreaker. I don't really know where I'm landing until it happens. So I need to trust that whoever is leading the pack, that they know where they're going and how they're going to pull the ground section. I like Arakara, Mists, Dawnbreaker, and Siege to pug. It's fine if people know what to do. Yeah. Which I guess you could say about... Yeah, I had that thought, but then I thought, you know what? Some dungeons... They're all fine if you know what to do and you're good at them, but there are dungeons where knowledge is not the only burden. There's dungeons where the knowledge... If you say that knowledge is a 5 level of difficulty for all of them, the actual execution once you have the knowledge could be extremely easy, where if you know it, you're fine. Or it could be much harder, where you have to know it, and then you also have to do it correctly, and it's challenging because it's very fast, or there's a lot of things happening at once. An example of that would be like the coagulum boss, the coagulation boss in, what is it, City of Threads, where knowing how to do the fight is a very different animal from correctly doing it because it's so challenging, whereas, what's an example? Knowing how to do the first boss in Mists, it makes the whole thing pretty easy. You know, there's not a whole lot of, you know, you gotta watch your feet a little bit, but there's not a whole lot of extra doing. I hate coagulation. Coagulation is probably a big reason why some healers quit. It is a horrific fight to heal if you are not a fan of being stressed and excited. Maybe other healers have an easier time than Holy Priest, but I have had a terrible time healing that one. It's so hard. So much area denial, so much damage going out, such a huge overlap of these big healing absorbs going right into a huge AoE pulse. And then it's hard for people to stack up because of the area denial and also how far you ran to get the things in the first place. It's a big mess. We're looking for a Royal Ripple now. That's what we're after. Also, wouldn't say no to Angler Seeker Torrent. Surfacing Ripple. Maybe a Blood in the Water. Gather all the balls. Yeah, you gotta have... I feel like health pots are almost mandatory for that boss specifically once you get to a certain difficulty. Harder for Holy, Disc can do it with less problems. Yeah, maybe it's the specific weak point of my class. I get so many null stones. I have 4 imperfect null stones for my last 2 casts. Arkar's last boss, Rough on a Pug. That one, my group has down to a science. It's beautiful. We go in a nice big circle. The tank always jumps to the middle with a debuff. We move every time the swirls come out. It's awesome. Trinity, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Appreciate it. So many keys, it's the end of the dungeon that you deplete. Yeah, it's awful when people leave right at the end. It's like, come on, just finish it. Single target heal the spec. In dungeons for sure, yeah. Your party healing is a little bit weak, especially if people aren't stacked. And people can collapse on that fight, and you do kind of have to, but it's a bit tough sometimes. What am I fishing this for? Nothing. Let's go. 1 Royal Ripple, please. I'm gonna be finished with this vendor before the stream's even over. I didn't think that was gonna be possible. Especially with how hard the derby was today. I kind of thought it would be tricky, but the trick was getting hammerfish lures. Shout out to hammerfish lures. Too efficient. We're too good at this. We've got it down to a science. I think that's the bug again. I had that on a couple of my characters. It was very random. It was all of my night elves. I'm sure I could maybe find more night elves to check to see if it's a night elf problem, but probably not. Anytime I try to find a pattern, it falls apart. Any thoughts on doing some good old mog farming? Maybe. If I can, sounds kind of nice. Gotta find the time. Although I guess we have Saturdays now. Maybe Saturdays will be mog farming days. I would love a weekly mog farming stream. That would be fun. Be a good thing for a weekend, right? And then we can worry about like our weeklies and our crafting and everything the rest of the time. I'm not quite done with rep, but I'm getting close to being done. And I'm kind of not looking forward to the point where it's just like, here, grind 100,000 resonance crystals. I think what I'll do is I'll just try to keep up with doing the weeklies at least once for some resonance crystals. And then, you know, the end of the expansion might come by and I might not have bought everything, but I will get all the cool stuff first. Any royal ripples? You're not a royal ripple. You are decidedly pedestrian ripple. We can go do a little lap around Ashkahet if we don't find one before we get there. Ooh, Whispers of the Deep. That's always good. Nice for a chance at Nullstones. Yeah, I think in 1105 you can learn tier tokens. I don't know exactly how it works, or like tier pieces. If you get a tier piece to drop directly, like from Molten Core or something, and it's not for your class, I think you can still learn it. I think that's the deal. Oh, thank you for the on-screen celebration. Did anything happen? I've never heard of that. Do I have to set that up? What's an on-screen celebration? Well, just in case nothing happens. We're celebrating. Not looking forward to grinding Emerald Dream. Missed it last next pack. Need a toy to get a pet. Emotes flooding the stream. Did it work? We found out how many bits it takes to make Hazel dance. Dancing being a loose word. Generous term. It worked? As soon as he did that? Nice. I don't see it on my preview, so I'll have to check that later. I'm glad that they didn't implement something that would have needed me to set something up without telling me. Your dance was slightly late. Oh, man. Dance earlier, dance longer. That's the trick. Dornagal Guard's Hammer. Have I got that one yet? I do. Lots of fishing pools, just not the right ones. Yeah, next time. Yeah, Norwegian flag emote, that's the one. They're from BFA and Shadowlands raids, so Mog hunting will be even better. Are they really? Do they promise? No take backsies? Because sometimes they take backsies. Sometimes they say they're gonna, and then they don't, and then they go, oops. Sorry. It's in the patch notes. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. I used to believe things in the patch notes, and then they said white transmog was coming, and then they changed their mind. Kind of adjust to be more solo friendly, not nerfing. Counts as a nerf for me. It'll do. But, like, we're saying we can easily solo, like, Battle of Dazar lore, for example. Maybe Oldir. Last boss of Oldir would be kind of cool. Are they, I mean, I know it's not BFA and Shadowlands, but are they doing anything to end Horus because pretty please, you know? I don't even want a Shackled Urzel. Denial. I don't even need it. Yeah. ENR. I mean ENR specifically, yeah. For sure. That's the only problem, and it's a big problem. It's doable, and yes, I can skip it if I do it X amount of times, and I don't want to hear it. I just want to be able to skip it the way you can skip Valiona? What is her name? The Healy Dragon in ICC that you don't actually have to do anymore. Just let us not do it, you know? Just let us skip right by it. Yeah, I know we could ask Flabby to share. I could work on my own skip, and you know, I just wanted them to build it in. I don't want to have to do homework. Lazy. Easily solo all the BFA raids. Don't know about a caster though. Yeah, I'll have to try it sometime. I'm 620. Well, not on this character, but on my whoozy what's it? I think we're 624. Oh, Slum Shark Swarm. We break for Slum Shark Swarms. Have you checked your bag to see if the skip function is there? What if it's in our void storage? Mythic Air shouldn't still be the way it is. Yeah, it's obnoxious. It takes a long time. And you have to, like, you can solo it, but you would need to memorize it fully. You need to know where everything is coming from, because you can't be slow on it or else it's gonna wipe you. And even if they made that more forgiving, it still takes like 10 minutes to do it. I'm exaggerating, but it feels like hours. Lifetimes. Watched a video, memorized it, did it, still failed many times. Yeah, it's just aggressive for such an old fight. There's not a huge benefit to them keeping it the way it is. What's the progress in the Troll Warrior alt? He is 32, tentatively waiting for the anniversary event to continue leveling him. He's feeling good. He's looking good. I'm happy with Prot Warrior so far. Need more practice. Still feels very awkward. But that's okay. He's probably always going to feel awkward. He's probably going to complete his goal and be awkward doing it. I'm just fishing this out. Look at all these slum sharks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to be rich. 7. I can't believe nobody's come up to this pool. I'm so lucky. Keep thinking the same for my else, but here I am, leveling through Dragonflight. Again. Excited to finally get a Dracthyr tank. Oh, I didn't... Perfect, okay. That was my feeling with Warrior. Always felt a little off to me. What I need is I just need to pick one tank class and be like, anytime I feel like tanking, it's always going to be this. Stick to it. And then eventually it'll feel at least vaguely comfy. If I don't do that, then it's always going to feel like hot dog fingers, because not only am I not used to tanking or being in melee, but I'm also learning a new class every time, because this time I'm like, I'm a Prot Paladin, I'm a Blood DK, I'm a Vengeance Demon Hunter, I'm a Brewmaster Monk, I'm a Bear Druid. Like, I cycled through basically all of them for at least a little while, and it means I've never learned any of them very well, or just gotten used to the kit and where the buttons fit under my fingers. Feel that? Can't stick to any. I have more concise preferences when it comes to other stuff. Like, I have kind of a little tier list of healers in my head, where Priest is number 1, and then I've got a couple other things that I would play after that if I was going to mess around. And then for DPS, you know, it's Shadow Priest, and then there's Hunters. And then, like, maybe Warlocks, you know, you think about, like, other casters and stuff for who would be, like, a good Hazel DPS alt. Unless we're getting wild and going melee. But for tanks, like... The one I've played the most is probably Bear Druid, because that's the one I actually tanked a tier on. I tanked the last raid of BFA for the Viewer Guild on No, not on Barnacles, actually. It was a different Coltiran Druid. And that was the first and last time I've ever done that. I'm just not cut out to be a raid leader. It went fine, but I found it to be very stressful. Even though it went fine. But that's the most I've ever tanked on, like, one character, I think. Avanox, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Appreciate it. But yeah, if I just stick with one long enough. I don't know if it's going to be Prot Warrior, which is my problem. I should just commit to it being Prot Warrior. What's not to love about Prot Warriors? Sword, shield, plate. Everything's great. It's like a chant. Shield and plate. It's great. I'm not a very good cheerleader. I was trying to convert the Hot to Go song to Sing About My Dog. And we started, instead of H-O-T-T-O-T-O, we were like, okay, D-O-G-G-O-T-O. You can get him doggo too. Doesn't really work. But it's very fun to try. Their bars aren't pink in the raid frames. Paladin always appealed to me because they are plate with shields and they can heal themselves. Which makes me feel a little better because, yes, you're relying on your healer, but not quite as heavily as a Prot Warrior does. And they always felt like they had cool utility cooldowns for assisting your party, being able to, like, lay on hands, being able to sack somebody, being able to freedom somebody. I feel like Paladins had, like, really cool tools. So I've often done those. I don't know why I haven't this time. Husband and I also changed to Hot Doggo. That would make more sense. Hot Doggo is better than Doggo 2. Oh, Royal Ripple. That's what I'm after. Alright, perfect. Okay. One Dottie Beck. Gives you a 30-second buff. If I had a dog named Moose, I would convert the Macho Man to Moosey, Moosey Man. He's not a man, he's just a little puppy dog. He wants to be a moosey dog. Brewmaster's fun. Brewmaster's cool. Brewmaster Monk is the Prevoker of tanks. They've got all the cool, interesting tech. But you kind of have to want to turn your brain on for it. Heard nothing but good things about Brewmaster. A really good Brewmaster is an absolute delight to heal because they take such smooth, predictable damage from their stagger. I used to have a Brewmaster weak aura because I spent some expansion or another, I think Shadowlands, healing exclusively my Brewmaster tank. And I set up something that would show me their stagger amount so that I could see how dire it was. And it was great because I knew exactly when things were coming. I could plan cooldowns around it. And it was nice and smooth. It was none of this just instantly dying. But my friend is a very accomplished, he's a very good tank. He's very smart. He's a good player. Main brew, so fun, so satisfying. Doggy bag. I had kind of a TMI thought about my dog recently, where when I was a kid, I always thought that the worst part about having a dog was picking up their poop. That's gross, it's stinky, it's no fun, nobody likes it, but you gotta put up with it because you want a doggy. And now that I'm an adult and I have a dog, he's a big dog, eats a lot, and, you know, nature takes its course. I was reflecting on it, and I'm like, I am actually so happy every time he poops, because I'm like, your system's working correctly. All systems are go. This looks healthy. You know, you got it out of the way on your walk. You're feeling better. You got a trot in your step. Let's go, everybody. This is great. Like, I never thought I would be so happy to pick up my dog's poop, because it's like, yes, he's feeling good. Things are working right. He is not currently being stopped up by something he ate that he shouldn't have. Gotten compliments from random healers and pugs every now and then, which makes me feel fuzzy. A lot of practice picking up poop and wow. I've adapted the anti-smell technology where I just hold my breath for the entire purpose, for the time that I'm picking it up, tying off the bag, and then getting approximately a meter away, and then I start to breathe again. And I've been doing this for years and years and years, so I'm really used to it. I just shut off the air for like 30 seconds or whatever. I'm pretty fast at tying it off, and that way I don't have to smell the worst of it. Such a true feeling as someone in vet med. Yeah, healthy poop, happy mom. Stoked. How did I not get a lure fish? Didn't I find a ripple? I found another one. Check a dotty back in. That's a lot of practice picking up poop and whale. The worst is when he decides to poop somewhere. And I'll stop talking about this in a second because I know this is gross. The worst is when he decides to pick somewhere like in really tall grass or like thorny plants or something like that. It's like, buddy, there was a trimmed city lawn that is not anybody's yard right there, and you had to go find the pokiest, thorniest bush to stick your butt into for some reason. And now I have to get this thing out of here. Thanks. Usually you can prevent that from happening if you're paying attention, but every now and then he likes to throw you a curveball. Yeah. Islwind, what I do for that is, A, I do my best with like a couple of bags and sometimes tearing up a little bit of grass. And then secondly, if it's summertime and I have water with me and I've already picked up as much of it as I possibly can, sometimes I can dump some water on it to kind of rinse it off into like the soil, and that makes it less like gross to leave behind. But yeah, I agree, that is frustrating. I haven't had that problem with Moose now that he's been bigger lately, as long as he's feeling well, but it's no good when he gets an upset tummy. Alright, I'm gonna talk about other things. What else do we got? How do we get away from dog poop? Have you seen the kitty? Meow. Sweet girl. Dognia, thank you for the 4-month resub. How about food? Good transition. Pie. Fun movies. What was the last movie I watched? Was it Babe? Did I see anything after Babe? I've been doing more Hearthstone Battlegrounds, less TV lately, although we did start watching Alone again. We started catching up again on that. Which is probably part of why I'm once again reconsidering living in the woods. So she's gonna have to fly. She's gonna have to fly her way back up. Or, actually, I'm really close to the I'm really close to the path. We can just fly this way. Babe has been ages ago. Yeah, I toned down the screens. I think it's been good for my brain fog. This morning I woke up and I like kind of got right started my day and I was like, I feel lucid. Like I feel very clear. That's crazy. That's amazing. What have I been doing? I need to keep doing that. Just starting the day. Just getting going. It's nice. Watching a bunch of classic movies. Did you get to Men in Black? I did not. I have never seen it. Is it about men's fashion? They go suit shopping? Perhaps for a wedding? Maybe they're going to Vegas. Sometimes men wear suits to Vegas. Kinda. Yeah. Sure. I'm trying to think of like if I was trying to actually I'm being a little facetious. I'm sure it's some kind of an action movie. But I actually don't know the plot of it. If I was going to try and guess it, they're wearing black. I think they have sunglasses. Are they like spies? Are we talking like Secret Service? Sometimes it's law enforcement. You know. Police shows, movies, lots of those. They do wear suits. Although if it's police, you're not usually wearing a suit unless you're undercover. So maybe we go back to spies. Getting warmer. Aliens! They're spying on the aliens. Are there robots? Where does the RoboCop come in? Oh dear. Oh my goodness. I was browsing through the bookstore on my digital reader and I saw a cookbook and it was the Fast and Furious cookbook and I thought that's hilarious. I've never even seen the Fast and Furious, but isn't it about cars driving fast? Isn't it just about like street chases for various reasons? What's the cookbook? Oh. Spatulas driving fast. They've just got like a little panini press plugged into the car and they're driving super fast and they're also just like grilling up a melt on their George Foreman. I'm sure it's a real thing. There must be recipes. There must be enough universe to support a cookbook, but I thought that was so funny when I saw it. It's about one thing. Fam. Everything marinated in Red Bull. Skyrim cookbook, pretty cool. A lot of the video game cookbooks are done by the same author who did the WoW cookbooks, and she's very good. She makes good recipes that generally turn out pretty well and are also fairly accessible to people that may or may not be experienced chefs. There's lots of winners in the WoW cookbook. What are we looking for? We're sending fish to Inksy. Wow, this took a perfect amount of time. We've got 10 minutes here to go shopping, post all these fish, wrap up the rest of the stream. Happy, happy, happy. I'm so happy I got out and I got the voting done early so I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the day now. I liked that during the race the Liquid Chef had her own stream. Oh, that's awesome. Been rewatching Princess Diaries. Can't wait for the newly announced Princess Diaries 3, some of the coziest movies. I voted in person, but you can vote by mail if you request a mail voting packet. But I went to a voting station and I voted in person this morning. Okay. This one. Yeah. I'd never done it before. I got a sticker. I put it on my to-do list that has nothing on it yet today. That doesn't bode well. Oh, no. Can't do that. I thought, I'm bendy now. I can sit cross-legged or in lotus on my computer chair. Nope, no I can't. Not cold, I can't. Oh, Chris Pine is the best Chris. There's a lot of people named Chris in the world. Must we put them in competition with one another? Must we put down one Chris to uplift another? I know it's I like the joke. I'm not trying to rip on you. I just, you know, what about all the other Chris's that are just going about their Chris lives? I bet we have some Chris's here. Hollywood Chris's. Can I be the best Chris? We need to hold a Chris convention to get to the bottom of this. So my left leg, right leg's the absolute opposite. I used to do the same thing. I would cross my legs often, and apparently in one direction more than the other. And I didn't realize how wildly imbalanced my muscles had become until I started yoga, and I'm like, oh, these legs are two different people. This one can do things, and this one hates me. I wonder why. Okay. Calling Chris Con. Why does that suit make Inksy look jacked? I mean, who's to say she's not jacked? Blub, 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 blub. Does it take more work to swim when you're tiny and without very long limbs? Oh, I'm comfy and relaxed. I'm happy. This was a really fun stream. I can't believe I'm about to get the rest of my stuff, I think, anyway. Getting that pitchfork to drop was a lifesaver. I wouldn't have been able to get enough marks otherwise. 26 from Hazeline. That puts us to 207. So, we purchase an artisan shoulder bag, a violet rucksack, not the binoculars, I have those already, a frenzied hat of the Crimson Seas, and that is it. So if I wanted to do more, there are more cooking recipes that I could get. Apparently I could try to sell the recipe. Anybody buying that for 40k is getting absolutely scammed, because getting 10 derby marks is very easy. But, yeah, I'm not getting the trophy fish, because it's 250 marks, and it is a visual clone of the Stinkrot Smasher, even though it's a different item, apparently, but it's a clone. Appearance is shared, but doesn't say shared. There we go, we got Shark Hat. This is the shoulder bag, it's got like some mining tools in it. This is the rucksack, reminiscent of some that we had in Dragonflight. And then I had the pitchfork actually drop for me from a fishing pool, so that one is all sorted out. We got the Harvester's pitchfork already without having to buy it. Do not buy this off the vendor for derby marks. You can get it on the auction house for cheap. Is your coagulum in your haste build for fishing? Coagulum, I was... yes, you're right. I do need to probably swap it for the dagger. I mean, I guess I'm never going to get better trinkets now. My season's pretty much over. Where is my Spy Masters? Why did I not get the Spy Masters? I thought my vault would give me a Spy Masters. I don't know who this accent is. Oh well. Now that I've done that, should I find... Let's make a fishing hat log. Let's make something that uses the shark hat. And it can't just be the fishing set with a shark hat. That's boring. Let's find a set to delete that we don't like. That's too cute. This is very pretty, but I never use it. It's too old school. We're gonna get rid of that for now. Let's make a new outfit. Shark hat. Ooh, haha. And we are gonna put on the frenzied hat of the Crimson Seas. Oh, I also have a blue version of it, I guess from the trading post, but we're gonna get the red one. Very important. And then we will make everything else suited. So I start by hiding everything, and then we'll go through and we'll kind of sort things out. I think we're off to a good start though. Alright, so we have... I want some sandals. Where's some nice sandals? Oh, Sandy. Those are not the right sandals. Those are a little too strappy. Who does she think she is? I'm looking for her toes. Those are very monk-esque. See, gone so soon? I wore it for a week straight. Stylish slippers. Those are a little more sandal-esque. Actually, those might work. Oh, we have them in different colors too. I like these ones because they look like they're trying to be flip-flops, like they've got like this thing between your toes. Which, if you don't have that thing between your toes... 1, 2, 3... It's so funny to me. They have the right number of toes and they have 3 fingers. Are there any better ones that I want? Or is this pretty much what's going on for the footwear? Looking for toes, looking for toes. No, no. No, 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 no. That's what I say whenever I really don't want to do something. No, 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 no. Yeah, 5 no's, very important. And you have to like shake your head more and more as you get through it. Like, hey, do you want to take a cold shower? No, 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 no. You gotta do your best toddler impression. It's very cathartic. Let's find a shirt, shall we? Or like a top. She could put on a bathing suit. She could put on... I feel like we want like a shirt though. Like maybe one of the swabby shirts from the trading post. Something beachy, you know? Like we're kind of given pool party vibes. We'll go back on... We'll revisit the pitchfork, don't worry. What in the flap mug is this? Hey, hey, hey. Pipe down. It's nice actually with the white shirt, the swashbuckling Buccaneers tunic. It's a good one. It's nice and simple, but it also looks new. You have the Buccaneers vest. I don't know if... I think I like the other shirt better for this particular character, though. Delves in level 70s feel pretty nice with a 57 brand mowing things down. Stinky diving suit needs to get washed. Sprinkle some Arm & Hammer in there. So if I think I'm going to do this. I will check my supply of actual shirts as well to see if anything there suits it better. But the board shorts and the Murloc floaty are mandatory. Those are very important. I'm kind of bored of scrolling, so let's we'll keep that for now. I'll see if any of these look appropriate. I'll hide this for now, but we'll come back to it. So I do like that shirt. She's beachy. Actually, that shirt kind of, the red kind of works. The red and the grubbiness is kind of effective. I'm not mad at that. We could do bloody bandages, actually. That's kind of funny with the shark hat. You could pretend that it was shark related. Did Kira steal Mrs. Bed? Depends on where you land philosophically on who owns the bed. Technically, it's my bed. I bought it. It's my bed. They are just borrowing it. But yeah, pretty much. Do I like this? Do I like the, what do you call it, a baseball shirt? Or do I like the, whatchamacallit, the swashbuckler shirt? This is a key and important question. I feel like maybe the swashbuckler shirt. Yeah. And then we've got good sandals. Bracers wise, maybe the watch actually? Where's the watch? What is it? What do they call it? Timepiece maybe? Mobile timepiece and like a nice little dive watch going on. We like that. And then no gloves because I don't want to really like upset the watch too much. I don't think. Not unless we just did some very basic hand traps. Just like to share the bed too. Were you here when I showed the video of them of Moose with his paw on her tail and they were just hanging out in the bed together? Excavator's glovelets. We'll leave her hands open. They can just terrify everybody with the lack of fingers. Cloak maybe. This would be a good one to have either shoulders, if you had shoulders that you specifically wanted, but I often go for a back piece instead of shoulders. You can certainly do both, but I find that sometimes the look is a little overwhelmed if you do both. And I think that for this character specifically, the back piece sometimes offers more, especially when I'm going for like a silly kind of mug like this. Because we're definitely going under the sea beach party. I think beach party is the vibe here. You know what that she needs is like an inflatable tube, like an inner tube to go on her back, although I guess she's got one around her waist. Doesn't really need a second one. Alright, forget the shoulders. What do we got for back pieces? She could have a backpack. She's got lots of different backpacks. Up to and including Murloc. Oh, she could take a dive tank. I've got 2 colors of dive tanks. Are dive tanks fun without the rest of the suit? I don't know. You're surprisingly cool about it. Here's a big cogwheel. There's a racing flag. The keg. The hat. We got lots of great back pieces from Remix. bedrolls and backpacks. Nothing is speaking to me here yet that like really goes with the set. Gosh, we have so many cool ones. Ooh, you know what? I'm getting somewhere. Food pack. Maybe the fish bag, actually? Or, like, the paw pack? Those are the paw packs. Those are adorable. And then there's, like, the little Tuskar backpacks. But there's also, like, the little fisherman's packs. That's good. I just gotta get the right color of that. The gray one kind of fits the color profile of the hat a little better. Then you've got some little fishy sticking out of it. Okay. And then I think with the pack, I don't know if the staff will show. So we could go once again for like something very minimal. Basically put it back to what it was, which was just like a little pearl thing. Like a little light. You can also do a shovel. Shovel's good for beaches, very fun. Oh, how many shovels do I have? Don't I have lots of them? I also have a garden shovel. Dragon garden shovel. This shovel doesn't even have a handle on the back of it. These ones have handles going on. That one's very flat. I guess they all kind of are. That one's smaller. I like that that one's nice and small, that garden shovel. Shark hat. I don't really love what the shark hat does to her hair, but I think it's worth it for... Oh, hang on, Beldar. I don't think I'm going to make it in time or anything, but worth a try. I've been late to this basically every time that I've tried. I pretty much always get there right when it dies. So I don't have a huge amount of optimism, but it's worth a try. So we'll try and kill this, and then we'll admire our transmog for another minute, maybe post our fish. I can post my fish later, and then I need to start thinking about wrapping it up. Launch time. I made a potato soup in my Instant Pot, and it was really yummy, and it didn't even use any ingredients that I didn't already have. It was just like potatoes and spices and broth and onions and garlic, and I mixed some milk into it and served it with some cheese. You could make it creamier with like heavy cream, but I just used 1% milk. It was real good. Nice. They waited. Imagine that. We have a chance. And I love making soups in the Instant Pot because it's a big batch and we get leftovers. Then you can have another meal that's like a home-cooked meal, but you don't have to cook it again. And it actually improves as leftovers. Some things don't. Killing me. I'm on 40 hours! Holy smokes! My goodness. I hope you're almost done. Recipe book to recommend? I'm a big winging it kind of person when it comes to recipes. I'll have an idea. I'll be like, I want to make potato soup in the Instant Pot. And then I'll Google Instant Pot potato soup. And I will read like 5 or 6 different blog recipes until I've got a feel for things that they often do. And then I'll take that information and I'll just kind of wing it. So I don't really follow any one in particular. Also, I did not get them out. But I'll just kind of keep in mind the types of things people often put into them and the quantities. And I'll approximate it based on my own taste and what I actually have in my fridge. Because that's usually easier than trying to follow something specifically, because then I get way too hung up on something that I don't have. Update you? Better see myself out. I am I'm wrapped up for today. Oh my goodness, that spider! There was a spider on me! Why? I guess it doesn't matter, but hang on, let's take her up. Let's take her up to Dornegal where she has some better sunlight to look at this transmog. The fish head is so large. Keep forgetting about this internet thing. The biggest tip I have if you're ever cooking off of a blog recipe is on the recipe page, once you decide that you're going to use it and you found like the jump to recipe button or whatever, find the print recipe button and click that and it'll open the recipe in like a PDF that you can save, or you can just keep it on your screen, but it doesn't have all of the ads. So it doesn't burn like your laptop or iPad or whatever battery is fast, and also it doesn't burn your eyes by like Google ads all over the place. You could also print it if you wanted to. Sometimes I do that. But the printable version is usually what I will reference if I'm going to keep something up for a while, because it is much less overwhelming than the actual web version of it. I like this. I'll wear this for at least a day. The hat's kind of obnoxious, but you know what? We spent some tokens on it, and not everybody's going to have it. thank you all very much for joining me today. I will be back tomorrow. Oh my goodness, I kicked a cable. Gotta be careful with that. I'll be back tomorrow with another World of Warcraft stream. I look forward to seeing you guys. I appreciate the company, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.